Oh God, my fucking thumb is still taped up, so I had trouble taking the cover off the thing. Anyway, hi. Oh, my tummy doesn't feel good. I tried to make a giant salad before I started, and the salad had raw onion in it, and it made my tummy hurt. I had to stop eating the salad. It's like, oh no, raw onion hurts my tummy. I didn't know that was going to happen. And it was like while I was eating it, it was like I didn't even get very far into it, but I'm like, oh, my tummy. Oh no. I was like trying to get rid of some vegetables out of my refrigerator. So I was like, okay, I got some radishes this week. I was excited to eat some radishes. Turns out radishes are not that spicy when you have raw red onion in your salad. And like cucumbers. Oh, I used my my food processor that y'all contributed to buying for me. Thank you very much. I like chopped up everything in my food processor and I was so excited to eat it. But yeah, I don't know why my tummy hurts. No, I'm sad. I ate a piece of bread. I'm hoping that makes it better. But anyway. Yeah, raw onion is tasty. I can only handle red onion raw. Anything else bothers me. Yeah. Anyway, hi everyone. Sorry for complaining about tummy hort. But it's okay. We're here. Hey Lux, taking a run while listening. Could you tell me when it's been about 20 minutes? You're asking me, a streamer with ADHD, to remember when it's been 30 minutes or when it's been 20 minutes? Like, okay, I'll try to remember when it's 2:30 that it's dentist time and that Bloody Hatter can stop running. You're allowed to stop running when it's 2:30 my time. Oh, I hope my belly feels better. That sucks. Anyway. Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jazz Dog. That's whose music we were playing. Hello, Pitzotel. Hello, Evan. Hello, Viren. Dr. Viren, as a matter of fact. Shakespeare. Hello. Yeah. Wetware Angel. Faulty Branches. That's the website, chat. Luxander.net/live. And hello to the YouTube chat as well. YouTube chat. Oh my goodness, there's a good number of people in the YouTube chat. Jess from Canada, GT Data, yes, you're welcome for banning Carlos. That was crazy. I'm like, if you're legitimately Delulu, which if you have a person who's saying that they're a prophet and they seem to actually believe it, then I don't think it's right for us to continue to platform them. I think that they genuinely need psychiatric help. And I'm not saying that to be ableist or like demeaning or anything, but like genuinely, we can't. I feel, I don't actually know if there's a liability aspect, but I feel like there's a liability aspect, or at least like that I would feel personally responsible if something happened to Carlos. So anyway, if you don't follow me on the line, then you have no fucking idea what we're talking about. But yeah, we were having some fun at this caller's expense. Like, you know, he's saying like, oh, you know, if you eat cows and you eat cheese, then you're like gonna, I don't know, like die. He's like, you're gonna die. God's gonna kill you. I'm like, okay. Anyway, hold on real quick. I'll be right back. I'm okay. I'm not throwing up, I promise. Okay, I told you, I'm not throwing up. Everything's fine. Hi, Banana Brains. Nikki, yes, what shall you do to pass the time without me for the next 2 weeks? Hello, Dally. Hello, Zach. Simply Lethul. Good name. Mabs, hello. Elijah, we seem to have someone in chat who is maybe also a little bit Delulu. Woke Donkey Hole, you've retracted your message, but I see your username in chat still. Anathema Grace, hello. Language of Horses, interesting name. Hey, boss, does that mean no line either? It doesn't mean no line. It does not mean that. It's actually partially because of the line that I'm not going to be streaming for the next 2 weeks, because, like, Arden needs me to cover Matt's show, or I don't even know if Matt's going to be there. I think actually it's going to be another Seth Andrews and Promise show, maybe. So on the 26th, this upcoming Sunday, I'm not going to be streaming because I am instead going to be producing, because otherwise I would be streaming. And then I'm going out of town starting on the 29th, and I'll be gone until like the 3rd or something. And then, yeah, so The line is part of why I'm not going to be available this weekend, but I will be on. I think actually I'm pulling double duty again tomorrow. Sorry if you feel like you've gotten too much of me on the Transatlantic call-in show this month, but Josie was supposed to be on this Thursday tomorrow, but she is unavailable, so I stepped in. So I'm going to be on Takis and then Calling It Now tomorrow. Yeah. And then, I'm going to be gone starting like next Wednesday. So I'm still going to be producing all my shows. So you'll see me in chat. If you want to see me in chat, I'll still be doing my regular, all the producing stuff up until next week on the 29th. So. Seth is one cool cucumber. That's very true. That's true. Wetware has a GF now. And who said earlier that they have a turtle? Is that Evan? You have a turtle? Adorable. So cute. Is it heartburn? I don't think so. It's like very much localized in my tummy area. It's like my tummy is like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about all this raw onion you just put in here. Where you going? I'm going to a wedding. So we are driving back to Kansas for a wedding. So in addition to owing $5,000 in taxes this year, I've also had to put a bunch of money into my car because we're going to be driving through the mountains. So I got my brakes all fixed up and I got my oil changed and tires rotated and everything. And I had to get the cruise control switch replaced because the cruise control just didn't work for like a couple years. So I figured if we're going to be driving across the country, it will be much better to have my cruise control working. So I just spent, like over $1,000 on my car, which was all on credit because, girl, I don't have any money. Do not, I swear to God, do not spoil the end of Invincible. I don't watch it until the nighttime. Like, my partner's going to get home, we're going to do therapy, and then we usually watch Invincible after that. Do not talk to me about Invincible Season 4. I have not finished it. Don't you dare. Anyway. Hello, Danny, as well in the chat. Set cruise control for the heart of Kansas. True. Yep. Oh, and I also have to pay for, like, hotels the entire time. So I hope that means you won't need car expenses for a long time now. I also wish that. But there's, like, a crack in whatever part of my engine holds the oil. You got to check your oil levels. So, like, on this thousands of miles trip, I'm going to have to regularly check the oil and top off the oil because it's cracked and, like, leaking and stuff. So I have to eventually get that fixed, and like a whole bunch of my other fluids and stuff need to be purged and replaced and shit. And I just, that's going to be another $1,000 probably. But we'll deal with that in a couple months. I mean, I'm going to catch up and start paying off my credit cards from all these taxes. And then, yeah, I'm like hoping that this year I'm finally going to be in a position where I can save up enough money that I'm paying quarterly taxes. Because that's the problem, is I didn't pay any quarterly taxes last year. Well, not very much anyway. I did like one quarterly tax payment, and it wasn't for very much. So yeah, Jesus, you know what I mean? It's like being fucking self-employed is annoying. Spoilers, the Invincible episode was good, and they have a title drop moment. What? Would you ever come to Canada to speak at a conference? Well, I don't have a passport, so I need to get a passport. I really don't have any intention of like, everybody's like, oh my God, you need a passport. I don't really plan on moving out of the United States. Like, no matter how bad things get here, I basically am like clawed my fingers into the ground here in Oregon, and I don't plan to move. But, I don't plan to move out of the United States. So I don't yet have a passport. But if I had a passport, then the broader question is, would you go to a conference to speak at this time? And the answer is, ooh, I don't want to get sick. I mask everywhere. Like, I wear an N95, but if you go to a large thing with like a bunch of people and you're only one-way masking and there's like basically zero other precautions being taken, then like probably not. I don't know. It's like, we were talking about doing LineCon in person, and if I am at all part of the planning for LineCon in person, which is still a long way off, our goal is to get to 2,000 paid patrons on Patreon before we start really workshopping that. And like, I'm gonna be like, dude, listen, like, it is unethical of us as a company, especially as a company that's trying to appeal to marginalized people. It's like irresponsible for us to create an environment where people might get permanently disabled from attending our event. So yeah, I'm gonna be like, hey, part of our budget needs to be making our own air filters, and which is, not that expensive, or like providing masks. And I would prefer it if masks were required, or at least like heavily implied that you should do it. And like at the very bare minimum, I think all of our staff and volunteers should be wearing masks. Like, so that's kind of my qualms about going to any conferences. If it was something that was like a completely outdoor event, that might be different. But yeah, it's like, I know that so I used to go to this convention called Skepticon, and I know one year, a couple years ago, there was like basically a lot of people caught COVID there. And so the following year, and I think maybe it was just one of the following years, because like maybe they haven't been able to put it on the last year. They were trying to have one in 2025, but they couldn't. So in 2024, I know that Skepticon put on an event that was like, masks are required for everybody except when the speakers are speaking. Like, I mean, for the speakers who go up to the front of the room, they're allowed to take their masks off, but otherwise masks were required, and they were like, they put air filters in all of the rooms and everything. So it's clearly doable, and that con is a nonprofit, right? It's not like a company. We could have backing for our convention or whatever. So they were able to figure it the fuck out. Mark Fusion, thank you. Woke Donkey Hole said, I liked your argument on the gauntlet. You convinced me. Thank you. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. If y'all didn't see it, the video is actually out. So if you wanted to go to Javon's channel, I think he's uploaded it as like a video. But, or maybe it's just a live stream is available to watch. But Jovan Bradley invited a bunch of us on to defend who we think is the best superhero. And I decided to choose Omni-Man because I like a challenge. And also because I've read the comics, so I know where the story goes. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I made some really... I thought that I made some convincing arguments. I stayed in much longer than I was expecting. So I got voted out. And then weaseled my way out of it a couple times. But then I got Superman voted out first, which I'm like, Omni-Man versus Superman. I got people to basically say that Omni-Man was a better superhero than Superman. So I'll take it. It was also very funny because Zoom has some built-in settings where you can turn on stuff, like you can turn on different eyebrows, and I put a mustache on myself, so I had the mustache. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. I would go again. I'm going to be out of town during the next one. I think they were kicking around the idea of doing the next topic, like what is the best anime? And I don't watch anime enough to be able to have an opinion. And especially, it's important, I've found out, to know enough about the other people's stuff. Because, like, I can't argue against Buffy because I don't know anything about Buffy. All I really had was calling Matt old. Like, I called Matt old. I was like, yeah, well, nobody knows anything about Buffy because we're not 100 years old. Oh my God. Someone needs to make a mask with a built-in mic. Girl, I will do a talk with a mask on. Fuck it. Even if I'm in a room full and everybody's wearing their mask and they're all doing it correctly, I'm like, hey, guess what? I'm going to be slightly muffled, but I'm going to get it as close. One thing about wearing the mask is that you're not going to be worried about plosiving the microphone. So you can get it as close to your face as you want with the mask on. Anyway, didn't the bicycle superhero beat Buffy? No, actually, it came close though, because people really love Moomin Rider from fucking One Punch Man. People really like Moomin Rider. I agree. He's very cool. But he got voted out when they were doing a 1v1 with Buffy. Or I think, yeah, maybe he carried through and he used his last lifeline. My friend Alec used his last lifeline to go 1v1 with Aang. But then I think people kind of enjoyed or predicted that it would end with Arden versus Matt, right? Like pit the couple against one another, and that's kind of funny. So, yeah. I still think that Buffy the Vampire Slayer doesn't fucking count as a superhero. Wrong genre. She's not a superhero. Point blank period. There's a reason why I didn't pick Goku, okay? Goku would have been so easy to argue as like, oh, he's the strongest and he always does the right thing. Da-da-da-da-da. He's he raised his kid or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I could go into it. Like, but the reason why I did not choose Goku, even though that is an obvious answer, is because he's definitionally not a superhero because it's not the superhero genre. Also, Aang is not a superhero. Doesn't count, but I thought that it would be annoying bitch town mode for me. Pedantic annoying bitch town mode if I were to double down on that. So, although everybody was arguing that Omni-Man's not a superhero, even though he literally was a superhero for 20 years within the superhero genre in a universe of superheroes, listen, I'm not actually that salty. I just am really good at pretending to be salty. Mark, have you already been in here asking me if I have any plans to debate Ben Thorpe? Are you gonna, like, just again, like, I'm not going to debate a child abuser. For context, Mark, by the way, I am a survivor of child abuse. Like, I still have fucked up dreams about my mom, who was my abusive parent. I had one abusive parent and one neglectful parent, and neglect is a form of abuse. So I am a child who survived multiple angles of child abuse. So why are you trying to get me to debate a child abuse? A convicted child abuse, or wait, I think he was convicted of a crime, right? At the very minimum, he was arrested for it. Like, why are you trying to get me to validate and debate a fucking literal child abuser? It's weird. Who is Ben Thorpe? What did he do? He kicked his daughter on live stream. I think she was like a teenager at the time. So I don't want you to have this image in your head that he kicked a toddler or something, but like, still. Uncool. Zuko is a superhero. Fucking true. Ouch, Matt is 1 year younger than me. I didn't mean it. Listen, you gotta go for the throat sometimes in these debates. Calling Matt old, like, I said, like, I was like, sure, if you're like 100, and then I was like, I'm like, please know that I didn't mean that. Give you loves, give you hearts. Hi, Kitty Tick. I'm here, but handicapped by the keyboard still. Tax return maybe soon. Excited to start working on these piles of wood. Also going to be working on a bunch of annoyances and car stuff. Can't wait to have it running. Happy. Got to start a lot of stuff. 2026 going to get super busy soon. Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad that your phone, at least, your phone keyboard works. By the way, if you need YouTube mods, Banana Brains is a Riverboat Jack mod. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't, like, automatically mod people because I feel like there's an implication that I expect you to, like, work. And I feel bad about that. And most of the time we don't have annoying people in the YouTube chat, or at least no more than I can handle. because you have to be subscribed for like 1 full minute before you can get in here. And, most of the time we don't have trolls. And even when we do have trolls, I like to dick around with them for a few minutes, usually before. If there's somebody with like a swastika profile picture, I'll just delete them. But yeah, I just don't want y'all to feel like, oh, you have to work. You're coming here to hang out in the chat, but I'm going to volunteer you to work. I believe the charges were dropped. Okay, charges were dropped. That doesn't mean there wasn't video evidence of it. He kicked his child on stream. Like, it's one thing if you, like, my mom was abusive, but she would at least, like, get her shit together in front of people. And believe me, I'm not giving her credit. I'm just saying, like, for a man to be so brazen as to do it on a live stream in front of people where it's being recorded, like, dude, that's crazy. I don't know why you're pulling so hard for this man. Why are you pulling so hard for this child abuser? Also, to be clear, I have spoken to Ben Thorpe. He called us on Takis. And we talked to him for like 10 or 15 minutes before Arden was like, oh, wait, hold on. I just realized who you are. We're hanging up on you. And I decided that I was not going to post the clip from that show. Because I'm not trying to platform this fucking loser. So I've already spoken to him. And here's the sum totality of fucking Ben Thorpe's opinions about trans people. They're weird, and I think it's bad, and I don't like them, and I think that it's okay for me to teach my children that they're bad and weird and freaks, and that we should point at them and they're not normal. He's a dipshit and a child abuser. Literally, yeah. If you're willing to kick your child on a live stream, how far is that abuse going off camera? Like, how far? How much worse is it behind closed doors? That's crazy. I remember that, Colin. That's what inspired the question. How does that not make it completely and totally clear to you that I would never speak to that fucking loser? Where is your head at, Mark? Think, Mark. Jesus Christ. Yeah, is that you? Mark Fusion, you're just Ben Thorpe, child abuser, here in my chat, trying to grant yourself legitimacy. Does it, like, make your dick hard to hear me say Ben Thorpe? You owe me $1,000 if you're here for some kind of sexual gratification. What is going on? I'm either trolling or being trolled by someone in the chat. That's what's happening. Also, yes, I know, I'm very funny. Thank you. Ugh. I might be upset that the clip didn't get posted. Yeah, I don't think I even discussed it with Arden, but I think we both are of the opinion that it's like we're not posting, we're not giving this guy any air. Hello, Talia. Hello, Steffi. Hello. I say Steffi. You're Stephanie. Sorry. I just like reading the username. Hello. It's 3 a.m. here. Yeah, you people in... Wait, you're not even in Europe. Where are you? It's like 2:30 for me. If it's 3 a.m. for you, you're literally... Are you literally... Where is that? Where is it that's 12 hours away from me in time? I'm like trying to recalibrate because I moved far. I was in the middle of the United States and now I live on the West Coast. What's on the opposite side of the planet from Oregon? Is that like China? 10 bands seems steep. No. Because here's the thing. I don't do sexual gratification. If you are getting some kind of sexual gratification from me, that's not for sale. Therefore, you owe me a shit ton of money. That's the exchange here. right? Like I have a Fansly account that I haven't posted to in over a year because I don't do sexy content. I'm easy about nicknames. Okay, cool. Cool. Good to have you hanging here. But yeah, no. It's like if you want feet pics, I don't do feet pics. So if you want them, they're going to cost you a lot of money. If you're here asking me about Ben Thorpe because you are Ben Thorpe, who is getting sexual gratification from me acknowledging the existence of Ben Thorpe, and maybe you're getting gratification from me repeatedly calling you a piece of shit child abuser, and in which case, again, you owe me $2,000. It's a rather high bar for a parent to get in actual legal trouble over striking a child, which is fucked up. If someone is that dangerous in front of his community, like everyone else is saying, what would he be doing when the camera's off? Reminds me of a joke about Mormons. Why do you always take 2 Mormons fishing with you? Because if you only take one, he will drink all your beer and smoke all your cigarettes. Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. I love that joke. But yeah, it's really screwed up to me that, I'm sorry, like, this is probably going to be a triggering conversation for some people, but like that in any other situation, spanking someone without consent or like hitting them and making them cry, hitting them as a form of quote punishment or quote discipline, that's just assault or battery. That's a crime, unless that person is your own child who is completely dependent on you for everything and is completely unable to defend themselves or retaliate in any way. That's crazy, you know? That's wild. That you would... That's the one situation in which assault and battery is not considered assault and battery. And like if your kid is old enough to understand why they're being hit, then they're old enough to understand if you just explain to them why they did something, how they did something wrong, and tell them to do it differently and give them some other minor form of punishment, right? And if they're too young to understand why you hit them, like if they're too young to have it explained to them what they did wrong, then they are also too young to understand why you are hitting them. You know? Like, so there's just no situation in which hitting a child is the right thing to do. Luxander, have you ever thought about turning your life over to Jesus? Jesus loves you. Why did Jesus let me get abused by my mom? Why did Jesus let me get removed from my mom's custody temporarily because there were bruises all over my shoulders and around my head? So why was that? Why did Jesus let me get temporarily removed from my mom, and then she was able to take diversion and I was put back in her custody for like primary custody for the next several years before the court finally gave a shit about my opinion and I got to go live with my dad? Why did Jesus let that happen to me? And also, why, when I was living with my abusive mom, when I prayed and said, please God, take me out of here, please God, help me, nothing fucking happened? Nothing happened? Oh, Jesus was protecting me by putting me back in the home with my abusive mom? You have to listen to the full sentence before you start typing in the chat. There's a little bit of a delay. Anyway, damn, crazy. It's 10:30 p.m. in the UK, so 3 a.m. would be India. Okay, well, India is also like south of China, right? Like south, like, because China's very big and India is south of it. So part of China could also be in that time zone. I don't know. I'm not looking at a map right now. It's interesting to be getting religious trolls, though. That doesn't happen very often. We don't usually get like religious people in here trying to talk to me. So at least it's new. At least it's interesting. Done with my 3 running laps. Doing my cooldown walking time. How did I do? Oh, I don't know when you sent that message, but it's been 28 minutes since you asked me to tell you when 20 minutes happened, and I told you I was going to forget. Just to be clear, I told you. Yeah, Viren says there are some things it's okay to ignore someone over because your reputation is an asset to people listening to your opinions and arguments. This is a known thing in the academic and professional fields. Why should I expect less from a theological, political, or social scientific discussion? Right. If I know someone is a child abuser and I know that and I still choose to treat them like an equal and debate them, then that is reducing me in my reputation. Crazy. Apparently it's snowing again. Oh no. It didn't snow at all in the valley this winter, I think. And it was like really unseasonably warm. So we're going to have a really hot, really fucked up summer. Yeah, hot fucked up summer. Coldest summer of the rest of your life. Hot fucked up summer. Okay. There was a burp. I've been waiting on that burp. Listen, there's a reason why I moved to Oregon. Is because I knew that it wasn't gonna. Well, I mean, some parts of Oregon it snows. We have mountains where it snows, but there's a reason I moved up here, and it's because I wanted to live in a tropical rainforest. I pop in for once, and some religious person is trying to proselytize. I know, Fen. I know. It's crazy. Javon's stream was loaded with obnoxious Christians earlier today. Yeah. I also saw that Calling It Now was pretty bumping last night. They had some wild calls, so it was a crazy day. It's been a crazy day. Not terribly excited about it being 85 degrees in Minnesota today. Good Lord, it's April. What? Yeah, literally, mildest wildfire season for the rest of your life. There's a reason why I wear a mask outside, and that's one of them. I say there's a reason. There's many reasons why I wear a mask every time I leave the house. Like, we had chewed gum last night, and Alyssa and Thinker were talking to some dude about, like, male fertility. Oh, it was fucking Andrew from New Jersey. And he was like, oh, men can wait to have babies, but women, they have a ticking time thing. And it's like, no, there's actually a lot of research indicating that male sperm quality also reduces after the age of 45, and that there's all these increases in, like, the number of potential problems that the baby can be born with, or the number of miscarriages, like the number of, like, failed pregnancies from sperm that's older than 45. And I was like, fun fact. Because Thinker also brought up erectile dysfunction, how erectile dysfunction is on the rise. And I was like, hey, fun fact, repeated COVID infections seem to be related to the rise in erectile dysfunction because COVID is a cardiovascular disease. And so it impacts your ability to get your dick hard. So, hey, if you didn't have enough reasons, yeah, she was like, Alyssa in the chat was, in the producer chat was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I was like, dude, there's a reason why I wear a mask every time I leave the house. And then I was like, well, technically there's dozens of reasons why you don't want to catch COVID. But yeah, if you don't already wear a mask and you thought maybe there wasn't enough compelling evidence that you should, if you want your dick to get hard, you might want to wear a mask. The bar between abuse and discipline is not properly defined. It takes pretty gross stuff, i.e. Ruby Frankie, I don't know that person, to end up in jail for child abuse. If you think about it, you never hear a child abuse case where the parent hit their kid only once. It can lead to kids pulled out of homes and put into even more abusive situations. Sure, I agree that family separation is something that needs to be done with care, and that, primarily you want to you want to make sure that they end up with family, right? So, like, I adopted my younger sibling. So, like, I removed them from a neglectful environment, and I'm doing my best to help them and everything. Oh, man, ADHD, Etch-a-Sketch brain moment. But yeah, anyway, like, I recognize that it can be tough to remove kids from harmful situations, right? And that you should be trying to place them with family, and that family separation is harmful even in cases of abuse. So yeah, anyway. Bye, Evan. I need someone to invent a mask for glasses users. My partner uses, I believe they're KN95s. Let me just check. I'm not going to show them on screen until I get this figured out, because I'm not about to show you my Amazon stuff. Oh, no, they're not KN95s. So... Is there... Can I open this in, like, an incognito mode or something? So that I'm not logged in on my Amazon account? Yeah! Oh, no, it still has, like, location stuff. Anyway, my partner wears, the brand is BNX and 95 Neosh. They're black, and they're the ones that, like, unfold with the 3 panels, and he wears glasses full time. So he's like, these are the ones. They don't fog up his glasses, and I think in some ways his are a little bit better than mine, because like I can smell things through my masks. I wear 3M or N95s. My partner wears these masks. The only reason I don't wear these really is because I feel like they're weirdly, I feel like there isn't as good of a seal right here, but also because these masks are black. My partner wears masks that are black, and I feel like I would overheat in a black mask. So BNX, if you look on Amazon, BNX N95s, blah, 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 made in the USA, da-da-da. Those are the ones that my partner wears, and he says that they're good for glasses. Anathema Grace corresponds. BNX is great for my glasses, as well as Well Before Trifolds. Okay, Well Before is another good brand. VG Archaeologist, has anyone noticed that brain fog, losing your thoughts moments, and such have increased since COVID? I can be mid-conversation with my professors with notes and sources in front of me and still go brain dead. That's a direct causal link, my friend. There is a direct causal link between repeated COVID infections and what is effectively brain damage. I did not plan to go on a COVID rampage today, but yeah, like, wear a mask. It's okay. So here's the thing. We don't know if it can get better. It seems like people with intense long COVID can start to see improvements after like 2 years. So if you start wearing a mask today and you eat well and you exercise and you take care of your body, then maybe in 2 years your brain will recover a little bit, you know? But like, you have to start, and I want to be clear, it can get worse from here. So if you continue to not wear a mask, then your brain will get worse and the stupid will increase. Fuzzy Logic says you have to form the nose strip. I use KN95 trifold masks with my glasses. The best ones are where they have a wide metal nose strip instead of a thin wire. Can recommend. You have to form the nose strip very closely to your nose contour to reduce fogging and also keep your lenses super clean. Yeah, and I'm about to switch to being like a full-time glasses user as soon as I can afford to get new glasses. These are just for my computer, but I have an astigmatism, so I want glasses that I can wear all the time, and I'll probably need to switch to something smaller because, like I said, the 3M, they have this rubber seal up here, but it makes them really thick at the top. I didn't realize COVID was coming back again. Now I'm scared. It never went anywhere. It never went anywhere. Okay. Hold on. We're going to look at some things. Okay? We're going to look at things. We're going to look at things, and if I scare you straight today, then fucking good. Come on, show me a chart. Give me the chart. Whoa. Give me the chart. Why the fuck can I not see the chart? Give me the chart. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. Give me the chart. Okay, how far does this go back? Is this just the confirmed cases? I don't know. I don't want confirmed cases. We're not testing anymore. We can't go off of confirmed cases. I need the wastewater levels. God damn it. Someone said it's been 5 years since my long COVID. I'm so fucking sorry, dude. I put the nose pads of my glasses on top of the mask, so the nose wire is high up and the glasses are lower than I would normally wear them. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking that too. Like, I was kind of not knowing what the fuck I was doing. This is my first ever pair of glasses. So I got these, like, you know, they're like hard plastic, and I'm realizing that I really should have gotten ones that have the, like, slightly flexible, loose nose parts right here. And that might make it easier for me to wear a mask. Last 12 months. Why don't we... Oh, as far back as we can go is last 24 months. Okay. We can only go far back as 2 years on this wastewater scan dashboard for the national levels. Okay, so... Where am I? Here? Okay, so look at this. This one, SARS-CoV-2. Right now it's low because we have these peaks every year. Okay? So we had a massive peak in July 2024. So a little bit, almost 2 years ago, we had a giant peak here. And then if you look at, actually, we're in a remarkably low level of COVID right this second, according to the wastewater levels, because here's the thing, COVID, you poop it out. You know, it gets in your entire body and then you poop it out. And so we can test it in the wastewater. So if we can't go off of like testing or confirmed cases in the hospital because fewer people are going to the hospital, or fewer people are testing even if they're in the hospital, and like we're not doing contact tracing and everything, then we cannot necessarily rely on that data to inform us of whether there's COVID, right? So we test the wastewater, we test the sewage in a given place, and you can see it like in different locations if you want to check your individual community or whatever. Last 24 months, this is like these peaks and valleys. This is when COVID spikes. Okay, and I wish that I could see, actually, I want to see if this will show me like the past 5 years so that we can compare it to when quote COVID was at the worst that it was. Okay, we can. Oh, it's like off the chart, literally off the charts. Check this out. Okay, so this is 2021 back here. I don't know, sorry if you can't see it. This is 2021, okay? This is when it was like, oh my God, it's bad. Okay, we have some breaks, like we don't have a lot of data and testing for 2020 because we weren't like keeping track of this. Not similar to flu season, as a matter of fact. Flu season happens once a fucking year. Are you, okay, I know that this is kind of small, so you can't see, but this is 2021, and then it had a lull, and then it comes back in July or August, or right around August. And then it dips back down. Oh, and then we have an insane off-the-chart spike in January, right after Christmas 2022. And then it gets a lull right here in March, April, and then a giant fucking summer spike again in 2022. And then, oh, look at that. That's between waves. This right here on the chart, that's between waves. That's not what the seasonal flu looks like. Flu is seasonal. It drops down to like damn near zero between waves. But nope, it's still up here, which is comparable to when it was bad in 2020 fucking one. Look at that. Okay, you see this? You see this number right here? I wish I had like a ruler that I could show you on the screen how this right here, the bad spike in late 2021, is equivalent to this, COVID levels are relatively low between giant fucking spikes in 2022. Look at that. An off-the-charts spike in December 22. And then, it kind of goes back down. And then this is like early summertime. And it's still at the bad level of 2021. And then another giant spike in August. And then it dips down, kind of, not really. And then another giant spike off in January 24. And then it comes down again to the same rough level of as bad as it was in 2021. And then another giant spike in the summertime. And then again, another quote unquote low, and then again another spike in January. This was it's like a relatively smaller spike in January because people are sick between waves, so they're not like catching, as severe during this holiday season spike. And then it comes back down again, and then it comes back up, and then down and up and back down. This is not at all like a seasonal flu. Also, the seasonal flu isn't causing AIDS functionally. So anyway, wear a fucking mask. TLDR. Long story short. Yeah, the website that I was just on tracks multiple infectious diseases. What was this? This is data.wastewaterscan.org. And so I actually, on this same page, I could pop over to influenza and see, oh, look at that. Influenza, once per year in December, there's a spike, and then it drops down to basically 0 in between. And I think am I still looking at the last, 5 years? Yeah, I'm still looking at the last, 5 years. 4 or 5 years. So that's what seasonal flu looks like. We can look at RSV. RSV also has a seasonal, and then it drops down to basically 0 in between. Fucking parvo. No data on parvo, actually. So, yeah, you can look at those things on the internet. Anyway. I never stopped wearing a mask, but I definitely won't stop. That's pretty terrifying. Literally, COVID is associated with increases in cancer and people who have previously gotten over cancer, having cancer come back. That's also associated with erectile dysfunction, stillbirths. It makes the placenta basically rot because it's a cardiovascular disease. It's increasing heart attacks in people aged 25 to 44. Strokes increased in age 25 to 44. Literally name something scary that you don't want to happen to you, and COVID can probably do it or make it worse. Low-key kind of pissed that the only reason I got it was because of my jackass parents. I had a work-at-home job at the time, but they refused to do shit, and I wound up catching it from them. That's really frustrating. I'm sorry. It's tough. Yeah, everybody in my house is on board with precautions. My husband masks at work. He's the only person who masks at work. My younger sibling masks anytime they go anywhere. When they were taking classes, they were masking the whole time. And we basically don't get sick. I mean, we're not perfect. We skipped the masks for an outdoor event, and we all got COVID in 2024. So, yeah. And then I did get sick with something in January this year, but I had just gotten vaccinated for COVID. I was also going to the doctor a lot. And I was still wearing a mask, but I was maybe I fucked something up with maybe I touched something and I touched my face. It was mostly throat symptoms, so I thought it was strep throat. But I also kind of felt stupid for a month or two afterwards. So maybe it was COVID, and I just happened to not get very sick from it because I had just been vaccinated. But nobody else in my house got sick from that. So, I mean, it's possible that I just had a super duper low viral load from having just been vaccinated. But yeah, so and there's only so much you can do one-way masking, like I've said before. If I'm going to get my blood drawn or whatever, and I have to go in and nobody else is really masking and there's no proper air filtration, then there's really only so much you can do. So I try not to beat myself up too much if I did catch COVID in January this year. But continuing to get boosters can also, it seems like that can help reduce existing long COVID symptoms. So get your booster as often as you can. mRNA vaccines do seem to be particularly effective at that. Yeah, anyway. When the mask mandates were in place years back, the claim was that the mask protect others from your germs and not vice versa. Is that not the case? So that is the primary purpose of masks, especially because at the time, you'll remember, we were all wearing makeshift homemade masks. because the hospital workers needed the proper protective gear, and there was not enough supply of those for everybody to have them. So we were wearing cloth masks, which mostly is like keeping your droplets close to your face and preventing you from breathing them out. So that's why I say like one-way masking, i.e. if only I am masking and nobody else is, then I am somewhat protected because I wear an N95, which is like a highly rated respirator, and I make sure it fits very well and everything. But it only does so much, because if you are in a room, especially for a long period of time with a lot of COVID in the air, then some of it might get through your mask. Like that's just, but it doesn't do nothing. It definitely works a lot to help prevent you from getting sick. Like I said, most of my household has not gotten sick except when we don't do masks. How many viewers do we have? I'm trying to... 83 people here listening to me yell about this. Okay, cool. Us Americans are super susceptible to the freedoms argument when it comes to things like this, so no actual vaccine mandates in the private sector after a while. Yeah. It's kind of wild to me that part of the condition of me being hired by Chicago's school system was a TB test and nothing related to vaccine. Wow. Somehow never got COVID. You can have asymptomatic infections. As in an infection where you don't develop symptoms. And actually, most COVID spread is asymptomatic. Like, for some reason, it's most contagious right before you develop symptoms. I mean, I say for some reason, but it's probably because you're more likely to spread it. We did this thing that's like, stay home if you're feeling sick. So if you're feeling sick, you stay home, and that strain of COVID doesn't spread. But, so yeah, the strains of COVID that are successful are the ones that spread when you don't have symptoms. So you can have totally no symptoms COVID. And also I've seen a lot of people who are like, I promise it's just allergies. And I'm like, yeah, but did you test though? Like, are you just assuming that it's allergy? Are you testing every time you have a cough or sniffles or sore throat? Like, this is part of the problem. I'm really good at masking my autism. Does that count? True. Damn, ethereal epoch. That's true. I don't know if it actually made national news, but here in Festus, Missouri, the citizens protested against having a data center built, and the representatives still allowed it. Half were voted out, but the contract still stands. That's really frustrating, and I have been feeling that frustration deep in my soul with all of these anti-trans laws passing, right? That we have over and over again... I've watched trans people and allies make impassioned pleas to the committees that are voting on these things and, put themselves out there and explain themselves and be so eloquent and so, just the right tone and everything. And for the committees and stuff to just like unanimously pass shit anyway. And it's really destroying my faith in democracies, like democratic republics. Rupreem, hello. Yes, Lux stream, indeed. And I will not be back from one of my Hangout streams until May 6th. So get your fill, guys. Get your fill here. True, yes, one of the good explanations I've heard for masks is, if I were to shart 6 inches away from your face, would you rather I be wearing pants or not? Yep. Same thing happened in my hometown in North Carolina. There was a unanimous vote against it, and they're still going through. Unanimous vote against it? Like, they actually let the people vote, and then they're just gonna do it anyway? Fucking democracy is dead, dude. That's crazy. I cannot say anything. I cannot speak I will be in trouble. I cannot speak. I'm gonna fucking break TOS today. Yeah, we need communism. I want my free healthcare for gender affirming surgeries. I am consistently checking up on the HCAO website. So Oregon is working its way toward a universal healthcare system. Where am I? Path to universal healthcare. I check on this like every month or two, just on a regular basis. Path to universal healthcare in Oregon. There was a task force created in 2019 that was tasked with designing a single payer system. The task force completed the report in 2022. There has been a governance board created in 23. The Universal Health Plan Governance Board will design a detailed, publicly funded single payer universal healthcare system to recommend to the Oregon legislature. And that's where we are at right now. They are supposed to submit that plan this year in 2026. They're supposed to recommend or submit the recommended plan. Then there's 3 possible options that will happen after that. Number 1, the Oregon legislature creates the single payer plan, which would be finalized and I think would make it happen in 2027. Or I guess, if they begin the legislation, that might mean like, oh, the actual rollout will be a couple years later or something. Or if they don't do that, the Oregon legislature could bring this in front of voters and let the voters decide. That would be in 27 or 28. And if they don't do that, if the legislature decides to take 0 action, then this nonprofit is going to collect signatures to put it on a ballot initiative, which would happen in 2028. So like we can force this move basically. If the legislature stalls on it, we have the ability to force the move by putting it as a ballot initiative. And then okay, so the task force report showed that it would take 2 years to fully implement the plan. So assuming that they vote it in 2027 during the legislative session, then it would be 2029 or 2030 before there was like a fully implemented universal healthcare plan. So basically, Oregon is leading the country in creating the first truly single payer healthcare plan, which is very cool. And it's very exciting. Oh my God, that's so bright. I get my universal care due to poverty and disability. Yeah, I don't qualify for those things. From what I can tell, Kitty says, my brain damage hasn't gotten worse over the last few years. I did come into COVID with many of the symptoms already of long COVID before it ever got here, which is tied back to my lightning strike. Brain fog, random body weakness, can't breathe when I run, just a whole litany. It would be super hard to figure out if I had long COVID, in my opinion. I do just stay home with the baby as my safety protocol. Right. Well, yeah, I mean, it can damage the brain and the cardiovascular system, and it makes sense that the lightning strike would have damaged your brain and your cardiovascular system. Like that makes perfect sense to me. I hate when I'm trying to adjust my glasses and instead I put a big fat fingerprint right on the front of them. Like, dang it. I'm not good at wearing glasses, y'all. I'm still pretty new at it. I don't know. I'm not very good at it. Massive W to Oregon. True. Anyway, what else is going on? My chair is at like the perfect height where if I lean back on it, I can like pop my back a bunch. And I also managed to pop my sternum. Does anybody else have sternum that pops sometimes? Not in a painful way, but just in a like, there's a pop in your sternum right here in your middle of your chest. Does anybody else have that? Also, I want to show you this flower that my partner gave me. It's a California poppy, and I cut it a little bit too short to fit in here. But yeah, it opens and closes. It closes up at night and it opens again during the daytime, and it's really fucking cute. And this is the most open it's been. And also, I think that the middle part is like growing. It's kind of hard to see, but I think the middle part is like getting all weird and growing in the middle. So that's fun. It's very cute. Adorable. There we go. New The Boys episode tonight. Nice. I don't watch The Boys. I'm like, it's so dark. I've heard that it's so dark. So I'm like, It's rare, but I do get the sternum pops. My collarbone does. Oh boy. Is that a sake bottle? I don't actually know. I got this at a thrift store, like when I was a young warthog. It says, I love you. And I've had it since forever. It kind of does look like a sake bottle, actually. Maybe it is, but it's really small. It's only like 5 inches tall. So I don't actually know. I don't know. I got it at a thrift store. And I've just had it for a long time. So I'm trying to like prop my poppy back up. Sometimes sternum does strange stuff, but they gave a diagnosis relating to it. I have a slight pectus excavatum. Like, I got a chest scan one time, and they told me that I have basically like a slight dent in my sternum, like a slight divot like this. My brother has a crazy deep one. Like, when he was younger, it was like you could put half a shot of liquid in his chest, and it would just sit there. And apparently sometimes pectus excavatum is is related to like connective tissue disorder. So it's just like another tick on the many different things that I experience that could be part of a connective tissue problem. I get all kinds of pops. My shoulders regularly dislocate. That EDS. I don't think my shoulders dislocate or sublux because they don't hurt usually, but they do pop sometimes. But yeah, they don't hurt. That is one of those things that I've been thinking about a lot, though. I've been thinking about my shoulders. And, like, I want to strengthen my shoulders. So I want to start working out. Do some lateral raises and get my shoulders all rounded off and beefy looking. Guys! Sorry, that was really loud. I went to the thrift store recently. And I got, like, 4 tops. And, anyway, I got a dress. And it does fit nicely now, but I feel like, so it has like a bunch of straps in the back. It's like a super open back dress, and it's got like straps all over it. And I feel like I was like, ooh, so I do not really generally buy clothes thinking, oh, I will attain some kind of future body that will look good in this, right? I don't buy jeans and go, ooh, my objective is to fit into these jeans. I really think that that's unhealthy from like a body perspective. Like I truly do think that you should be operating on more of a body acceptance of like, buy clothes that are comfortable for your body now. And if you're working towards some kind of change, or if your body changes somehow later, then buy new clothes then. But don't like buy clothes now thinking that you will look good in them later. Like, I just don't think it's good. But I did buy this dress thinking, okay, this already looks good on me, but you know what's going to make it look really, really good on me is when I have yoked fucking back and shoulder muscles. I'm like, ooh, this dress is going to look good when my upper back is like ripped. So I'm excited. And I went to show it to my partner, and I was telling him, I was like, ooh, I'm excited about this dress because I think it's going to look really hot when I have like more back muscles. And he was like, well, you look sexy right now. So, yeah. So that was fun. I hope the Boys series ends better than the comic did. Yeah. I don't have any opinions on that. I'm so sorry. I wish I could talk about the Boys, but I just haven't watched it. Just walking around sounds like bubble wrap sometimes. True. My knees. Oh, my wrists. Yeah. Oh, it's like, I don't think I can pick it up. Yeah. Whoa. Thank you, Jiffy Pop-Tart, for the $10 super chat, who says, look here, people. Help Lux stock up on masks or dragon figurines or whatever it needs. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Oh, and yeah, I haven't mentioned it so far today, but if we do get to the stream goal of donations of $100, I will take off my shirt and flex. And I will have to actually take off my shirt, so you'll get to see me in my in all my sports bra glory. Unless you don't want me to flex, in which case I will go get my cat and make her be on camera. But anyway, thank you. That's so sweet. I buy clothes that I think will look good on me and are cheap. Yes, true. So yeah, I got a couple of cute little shirts, cute little tops. It's gonna be good. As someone who floats between a 28 and 38 waist, don't shop for the slim times. Yeah. When I first started HRT, I got my first retail job at a rag stock so that I could try all the styles and replace my whole wardrobe. I got so many clothes that I bought with hope of future gender euphoria. Them clothes were worth hanging on to. That's fair. Well, okay. Yeah. I think that's like different, because if you're like, oh, I'm going to grow boobs, like, okay, yes, you probably will grow boobs. I guess I think of that like buy clothes for your current body more in the context of like not in a like trying to challenge fat phobia way, or doing work on body acceptance related to how big your body is. But yeah, if you buy like some clothes that you think are going to be cute early in your transition and then you end up filling them out later, then yeah, totally. But if you were buying clothes for the body that you have, then you would be buying all men's clothes, right? So I'm not saying like buy men's clothes if you're a trans woman. I just want to be clear that that's not what I'm advocating for. Unless you like wearing men's clothes, in which case do whatever the fuck you want. Talk about a hard choice, the flex strunk or fluffy cat. I know, it's terrible. Ooh, it's Pillow says, once I get my license, there is a revolutionary socialist candidate in the district directly south of mine that seems really good, and I'm gonna go table and poster for her. I'm very excited. Hell yes. Hell yes. Isn't it wonderful having local candidates that you can actually give a shit about? And that you're not just like, oh, I'm trapped in this situation where I have to vote for a terrible person. Spider-Man is a better Messiah than Jesus. I cannot argue with that. Hell yeah, dude. Oh boy. What is your guys' favorite thing to do on a road trip? Especially a road trip that's going to take either an entire day or is going to take multiple days. Like, what are some of your favorite things? What are some of your favorite games that you play while driving? Do you play any, like, I Spy type games when you're driving? Do you find it fun to stay in hotels? Or are you more of like a sleep on the side of the road in your car type of person? What are like some things that you like about taking long road trips? Or like, what's your favorite road trip snack? Like, what should I pack in my cooler when we go on this road trip? Because we're going to be driving, I think basically it's like 27 hours from Portland to Kansas City. So technically speaking, if we really pushed it, we could do that in 2 days. I mean, yeah, even if it was 30 hours, if we did 2 15-hour days, we could do that. So we would basically like 2 13-and-a-half-hour days or something along those lines. So we can do it in 2 days and then get there and do the wedding and then drive back over the next 2 days effectively. So yeah, tell me some stuff what you love about going on a road trip, because this is going to be the last time I see you before I go to Kansas and back. I'm going to go across the country and back. I will have traveled like almost 5,000 miles. Well, I guess closer to like, it's like 2,300 miles one way. So yeah, like 4,600 miles. Road trip karaoke is a must. Okay. Yellow car and Padiddle. Padiddle! I haven't had anyone mention Padiddle in a long time. You just fucked my world up for a second. I don't know what yellow car is, but Padiddle. Oh my goodness. I never was really big about playing Padiddle. I just knew people who did. I played like Slugbug when I was a kid, obviously. My partner's family had a game called Hawk because one of my partner's family members like works with birds or something. I don't really know the details, but so they was like, oh, Hawk, and you would like gain points, but if you pointed to something and said hawk and it wasn't actually a hawk, like if it was just a squirrel nest or something, then you would lose all your points. Yeah. Absolutely destroyed my brain with Padiddle. I love playing the Try to Stay Awake game and the Avoid Road Trains game while driving north and south in Central Australia. Oh boy, Avoiding the Trains game sounds like a good game to play. I bring a jar of peanut butter and a spoon. It doesn't go bad. It's good at room temp and lots of energy from it. True, yeah, that's true. Road trip karaoke. I did that drive in March. Hell yeah, Mambo bro. Did you drive through the mountains? Because I'm planning to just drive through the Rocky Mountains. And it has occurred to me that like I'm assuming that it's not going to be snowing or snowy on like I-80 or whatever, but I don't actually know. Thankfully, when I was planning all this last year, I got this app. So if you guys are ever traveling and you want to know, so part of the reason why I got this app specifically was because we were going to be in a moving truck dragging my car behind in a trailer, and you're supposed to only go like 55 miles an hour. But on Google Maps, the time estimates are assuming that you can go the speed limit. So they're assuming that you're going to be going 70 or whatever. And so I was like, okay, well, I need more accurate time estimates for where we're going to be each day. And so I got this app, and it's just called Highway Weather. So you can put in those kind of limits. You can be like, okay, well, my maximum speed limit is going to be 55, or I think you can also put in like if you have a truck that's above a certain height, so it won't take you through, where there's a bridge that's too short or whatever. But also the great thing about this app is that you can look at the weather cameras all along your route and see if there's currently inclement weather. Like, is there currently snow? Or you could even see like along your route, okay, at this time in this location, the weather is predicted to be like this. And it's so fucking useful. So yeah, if you're ever traveling, use the app Highway Weather. It's extremely, extremely useful in that way. And you can tell it like, if I leave now versus if I leave tomorrow morning. And yeah. So it was very useful to me to have. And it shows it like along your whole route. So like, okay, if you were to leave now, then at 10 p.m. you would be in this location and it will be 47 degrees and partly cloudy. Cool. So yeah, super useful. And like, oh, if I were to leave now to go to Boise, then it would be like raining at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Like assuming I just drove straight there. And it also tells you the best time to leave. Like, oh, the best time to leave would actually be at this time because then you're not going to run into that rain, whatever. Very, 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 very useful. Yellow car is when you call out when you spot a yellow car. They're pretty uncommon. Okay. I bet that would correspond very closely with Slugbug. Because so many Volkswagen Beetles are yellow. That's interesting. 27 hours, damn. That is like the length of my entire country. We are only like 1,500 kilometers, 1,600 kilometers long, which is 990 miles in freedom units. So 27, I don't know if maybe the speed limits are different where you are at Chaos Gremlin, but if you're going on the highway here, like the free states, not the free states, Jesus, the freeways, the interstate highways, usually have a speed limit between 70 miles per hour and 80 miles per hour, which is, I don't know, what is 70 mph in kmh? 112. So if you're, just imagine driving on a highway at 112 kilometers per hour or more, and then So if you're going for 27 hours, yeah. So from here to Kansas City, so it's on the eastern side of Kansas, it's like more than 2,000 miles. So let's see, 2,300 miles to kilometers. 3,700 kilometers is how long this trip is going to be. One way. That's one way. And then we're going to come back around and come back like immediately. Like maybe even the same day. We may very well arrive the same day that we leave. So it's going to be fucked up. Road trip necessity, Dungeon Crawler Carl. Dungeon Crawler Carl. I don't know what that is. It's a literary role-playing game about a man, Carl, and his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut, who are forced to survive a deadly intergalactic game show after Earth is destroyed and turned into an 18-level dungeon. Well, that's fun. And there's a picture of Seth MacFarlane related to it, so I don't know if he, like, produced it or something, maybe? Why is there a picture of Seth MacFarlane? Anyway, I love a box of extra toasty Cheez-Its and a big body armor peach for my road trips. True. We like to do, body armors are really good for road trips because they have a lot of electrolytes. They've got they're like coconut water with potassium and stuff in there. So yeah, body armors. I should maybe start a list. Where's my fucking, here. I've been doing connections and I've been using my Post-it notes to do connections. So this is my notes from yesterday's connections on the New York Times. So I'll just write on here. Body armor. Obviously beef jerky. That's a necessary for a road trip situation. Beef jerky. Peanut butter, perhaps. Peanut butter. I feel like I want to get some bags of pickles. Pickles are good for road trips. We probably want a bunch of water bottles so that I don't have to like stop and refill my water constantly. Yeah. There was snow and massive hail. Oh, you went in March. I'm going on like the 1st of May, basically. The 1st of May, 1st of May. And that's the second time, at least this week, that you've heard a line host sing Jonathan Colton. Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its can be a good choice. I'll probably try to get like a bunch of my protein chips and stuff. Those are good. Eating an entire bag of Lifesaver mints and getting sick. No. I got one. Spot any license plate and try to think of words using the letters in order on said license plate. That's a good one. I also have played in the past a game that's like, it's basically like looking for the state on the license plates that's in alphabetical order. So like if you see an Alabama license plate, okay, Alabama, that's A. And then you have to skip to like the next, or maybe it was like seeing the letter itself on the license plate, like if the letter A was in the license plate number, because obviously like we don't have any states that start with B, so you would need to skip forward to C. So like then you see Connecticut, and then you go to like, there's not a D one either, I don't think. Dude, there are too many states that start with M. Have you ever thought about that? Yeah, pointing at cows and saying cow. Yeah, if you don't see a cow, it's not even a real road trip. True. We got into so when you've been driving for like 4 solid days, it makes you kind of go crazy, which is, we ended up driving for like 3.5 days. And by 3.5 days, I mean fully like 16-hour days. So like 3.5 days driving up here, and you get a little crazy at some point. And then, so we ended up being like, train. Like, why have you done this? So we have a lot of little memes like that from just slowly losing our fucking minds on that trip. I usually just look at all the cool stuff to look at. I am sorry about the Kansas. Listen, listen, the only bad thing about this trip is that we're probably going to go through I-80 in Wyoming and then through Nebraska. But if we were actually driving through Western Kansas is beautiful, okay? The Flint Hills are beautiful. I love Western Kansas. I had grandparents who lived in Colorado, and so I've done that trip many times, and it's gorgeous, and I love it. Taking a hammock and stopping in parks to sleep during the day, or taking a random side road at times to see what is beyond the freeway. See, that terrifies me, especially driving through the Midwest. I'm not gonna like stop. Are you kidding? I mean, I guess I'm gonna have a cis man with me, so that'll make it like marginally safer. But like, I'm not gonna go off on side roads. I don't even like. Okay, listen. If I'm on a road trip of any length, and that includes like I recently drove to Seattle, which is not even that long of a trip, from Portland, and I will not stop at a gas station that I can't see from the highway, which is pretty limiting because it means like I can only stop off in a city where I can see the gas stations right off the highway, or if there's a Love's on the hill next to the highway or something. I don't stray from the highway like at all. I'm like, I'm not about to get murdered. I don't really sleep during trips, TBH. I like to throw my headphones in and cue an album up on my iPod and then close my eyes and then just rest as time passes. Yeah. I mean, it's only going to be us, me and my partner, and we're not like necessarily going to be talking the entire time, but we like having the opportunity for conversation. I am imagining that my partner is going to bring his Game Boy or whatever. You know what's really interesting is that we both had the assumption that we would each be driving most of the way. Because my partner is like, he doesn't really like driving my car. Well, he doesn't really like driving, period. But he doesn't like driving my car because it's not comfortable for him. It's not suited for him, basically. He's much taller than I am. So I was just like assuming that I was going to drive most of it. But then when we were talking about it, he was like, oh, I figured that I was going to drive most of it. And I don't know if that means that we're both very generous toward each other. I guess I should choose to perceive it that way, that we're both very generously assuming he drove the entire way up here. I was not mentally or emotionally prepared to drive like a 22-foot truck with my car behind it. Yeah, I drove 0% of the way up here. So I guess that might be part two of like why I was assuming that I would drive most of it home. But I guess, we'll talk about it and we might like switch back and forth. And I'm planning to insist that we stop every 2 hours because I don't know if you know this, but you can get a blood clot from sitting in the same position for too long. When we were driving up here, we had this enormous truck and I could basically just like fully stretch out my legs. And because the thing is that when you are hinged 90 degrees at the hips, it like kind of cuts off your blood supply a little bit. Like it like just impedes blood flow from your lower to your upper extremities. So I was able to like just straighten my legs out completely, which was really comfy. And I could do that so we stopped like every 4 hours or so on the trip up here. But I was like, no, dude, we're going to stop every 2 hours because I'm gonna go. I'm going to walk around, I'm not trying to like get a blood clot. I have estrogen in my body, so I'm more likely to get a blood clot. Portland-Seattle drive feels longer than it is. It feels so long because it's just trees like this on both sides of the highway the entire time. You can't see anything. It's so fucking boring. This isn't therapy. Don't think too much into it. Listen, I literally do have couples therapy in like 3 hours. There should be a rental service of designated cis man to take on long car trips in certain parts of the country. Yeah, and he has to have an extensive background check. For sure. My hair is so fucked up today. I don't know what the problem is. Sitting that long can also cause hemorrhoids. I would say fun fact, but... Oh, Delaware. Thank you, Lady Still Dreaming. I've blanked on Delaware. Slug bug, of course. Slug bug during the trips. Yeah. I find it helpful to reserve your motels ahead and drive between them for your own health and sanity. Plus, the pools should be open by now. I'm not going to go swimming in a hotel. Again, I don't want to get sick and I don't want diseases. So, but I was like planning on reserving the hotels during our first trip, but then it became abundantly clear that we had no frame of reference for how long it was taking us to get from point A to point B. Any change in elevation, of course, if you're dragging your entire life behind you, it's crazy. So, I was basically just figuring maybe this weekend we'll talk about the trip route a little bit and be like, okay, broadly speaking, I want to go this direction. But in all likelihood, I mean, maybe it'll be like, okay, let's stop in this city. But I'm just going to figure it out hotel-wise. It's also going to be much easier to figure out the hotel when we get there because I don't have a cat with me this time. We would often commute over a set of locks containing a bayou to the significantly higher Mississippi River. So the game we would play was boat or no boat, as in boat in the locks or not. I don't know what locks means in this context. If you take I-90, there will be a little snow in one bad spot, but the rest should be sunscreen driving. Where is I-90? Give me images of I-90. Oh, absolutely the fuck not. No. We're probably going to come up through Portland. Like, we're going to go, obviously, like, from Portland up through the pass and down into Boise, and then probably over through Wyoming on I-80, and then through Nebraska, and then down into Kansas City. Like, in all likelihood, that's going to be the best route for us. I'm not driving through fucking Montana. I've never been to Montana. It just occurred to me. I added several states to my total number. I've been to, I guess I hadn't been to Washington until I recently took a trip there, but I've now been to Washington, Oregon. I've been through Idaho. I've been through Utah. I had already been to New Mexico, but Arizona was new for me this trip. I had already been to Texas and Oklahoma. Obviously, I'm from Kansas. I've been to Colorado before. I've been to Nebraska before. I've been to Missouri plenty of times. I think I went to Tennessee for a wedding one time, and I've been to Florida, and we drove that. So I think I've driven through Florida and Georgia, or I've been to Florida and driven through Georgia. And I've been to Arkansas because I had family in Arkansas. So I've actually been to a decent number of states. I've never been to like the Northeast. I've never been anywhere in the Northeast. I've been to Minnesota, so I've driven through Iowa before. I've been to a convention in Minnesota. I've also been to Illinois. I forgot. I've been to Illinois. I went to Chicago one time. I'm just looking at a map and being like, damn, I've actually been all over the fucking place in this giant country. I've been to both extremes of the contiguous United States. Like, not the most extremes, but like I've now been to like the Seattle area, Puget Sound. So, and then I've been to Florida. So I've been like on those two extremes. That's cool. I have a whole lot of life experiences. Isn't that neat? Deep vein thrombosis mentioned. True. I just beat my personal record for the Easter egg hunt in Stardew with 8 eggs. What? Abigail beat me? Oh, that's crazy. Abigail's my girl. I love her so much. Being a rental, large, tattooed, and bearded masculine person for road trips sounds interesting. True. Dead domain is live, so I'm going to take off. Dang. Damn, that's how it fucking works, I guess. Go to Glacier National Park. Yeah, I got to discuss with my partner. Are we going to make any stops? Are we going to look at any beautiful things? Because we did not do that on our trip up here. So, I don't know. I'm definitely, like, looking forward to driving through the Rocky Mountains because they're beautiful. I've been there when I was a kid. Like I said, one of my grandparents lived in, like, Denver. So, and of course, the entire time you're driving through Utah, like, there's the mountains. They're over there. You can see them the entire time. And then also a little bit of mountains over there in Nevada. But I wasn't, like, planning to stop anywhere in particular. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it. Sebi is my boy, but I'm thinking of trying Maru this time. Maru is my partner's wife. I moved from Florida to Seattle. Hell yeah. Do different states feel like you're entering an entire different realm in terms of culture and vibe? No. Okay, so first of all, let me get to that question in a second. Bramley just had my first consult for FFS. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. That's exciting. I'm happy for you. That's awesome. Do different states feel like you're entering a different realm in terms of culture and vibe? Not really, which is one of the kind of annoying things about the United States. Like, obviously, there's like little quirks and stuff that can be different from one state to the next, and different states have different laws. So if you're from fucking Kansas, where there's no legal cannabis, for example, and then you're driving through New Mexico and you're seeing like billboards for cannabis, that's a little bit interesting. And then like, driving through Portland and there's head shops like every block, basically, that can be a little interesting. But it's actually something that I am frustrated with about the United States, that you can travel such an enormously long distance and still functionally, culturally be in the same place. Certain areas, I think, do have a distinct culture. Like, I would say Texas has a pretty distinct culture. And like New York, especially New York City, has a pretty distinct culture. And I would say like Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, like there's kind of I guess like all of the South, like Mississippi, Alabama, blah, 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 all that kind of junked in together. That's like the South. So they're kind of culturally the same. And then like there's the Midwest. So Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, North and South Dakota, and Minnesota, and even into like Illinois, I would say are all very culturally similar to one another. And I've never been to California, but I would say probably at least Southern California has a sort of distinct feel because of Hollywood and all this kind of shit going on there. And then there's like the American Southwest, New Mexico, Arizona, somewhat Utah and Nevada, and like a little bit of Southwest Colorado as well, where there's like still a decent number of Native American people there. And you're seeing a lot of stuff about them. And like, I think the biggest difference in America is the biomes. So biome being like, okay, so you're in Kansas. You start in, like for me, I started in Eastern Kansas, which is, it's relatively flat, but there's a decent number of trees and there's like rivers and stuff. And you're like, okay, cool, chill. And then you drive like down into Southern Kansas and into Oklahoma. And you're like, oh, this is what it means to be actually flat. Like truly and genuinely, this is like negative flat almost. And yeah, you start getting the like wind farms and everything down there. So the biome shifts into like almost vaguely like a desert prairie kind of. And then you go through like Texas. Texas obviously is a unique biome. Well, I don't know. I haven't been to Texas since I was like a kid. When I drove through Texas, it was dark. It was wintertime and it was dark and I drove through Texas and I didn't actually see anything. But New Mexico, Arizona, there's a big biome shift where you're like, oh, there's cactuses now. And obviously you've got like the mountain biome of Colorado, Wyoming, and like Eastern Utah. That's all mountains, mountains, mountains. Nevada's like a straight up desert. SoCal is like a straight up desert. And then you've got like crazy super duper tall trees in Northern California. And then Western Oregon and Western Washington are both like foresty, mountainy valleys, rivers, like very temperate, very mild, very Mediterranean climate. My understanding is that Montana is a big fucking forest basically. And like obviously the top of the Rocky Mountains is up there. Yeah, so it's just basically big chunks of biome. And like I haven't been to the East Coast very much, so I'm not trying to like speak to that. Obviously there's the Appalachian Mountains over there. But yeah, so it's actually really frustrating to me that it feels very similar. Like it feels very similar from one place to another in the United States culturally, which might also just be because it's a relatively young country in terms of, it's not like when you're in Europe and you can like drive past a literal fucking castle, where the buildings have been there for a really long time. And, going through Paris where there's a bunch of like buildings that have been there forever or they've been updated or what have you. So it's on account of it being like relatively young in terms of development in that way. And also because of capitalism, I think that we have stroads everywhere. Like, especially if you're driving on the interstates, It's like, oh, look, another fucking gas station with a bunch of diesel trucks and like a McDonald's and a Taco Bell, um, and like rest stops and stuff like that. So it just kind of feels really samey from one place to the next. And I do find that really frustrating that y'all in Europe can travel a really short distance and be far more cultured and see more unique things in that way. By the way, thank you, Ms. Damie, for the membership. I appreciate that. I don't really do a lot for the YouTube members, so you just get a fun colored name. So I hope you enjoy that. Also, a couple of custom emojis if you want to. There's some like emojis. Yeah, if you want quirks and scenery, you got to get off the interstate. But yeah, I'm not trying to get murdered. I thought someone said the blank is live as a joke like I do when you're on the line, but OMG. Yeah, no, some people will straight up be like, I'm leaving to go watch another streamer. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll kill myself. Like, cool. What's your least favorite state that you've been to? I'm gonna say Texas, just because Texas is the worst. I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up between Oklahoma and Texas, frankly. They're both really bad places to be. When I went to Texas, it was like for a fun little family getaway, and I was a very young kid. Like, I might have literally been a toddler, actually. I'm trying to think if my little brother had even been born yet. I don't actually think he had. So yeah, I was like a literal toddler. But yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, Oklahoma or Texas, just because they're both terrible politically. Going from a big city or small town, from a big city to a small town is a bigger shift than most state borders. That's fair. Totally. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Kansas for a wedding. I'm from Kansas, and I moved to Oregon a little over a year ago, and my brother is getting married, so I'm gonna go drive to Kansas and go to a wedding. A wedding on May Day, which is so exciting to me. I didn't even clock it until like this week, but I celebrate like the pagan holidays. And by celebrate, I mean in the very loosest sense of the word, I think about them. But I actually love, and I don't know if it was on purpose, that this couple I know is getting married on May 1st, because Bealtaina is like a love and marriage and sex oriented holiday. Like, one of the things that you can do to celebrate May Day is to bake bread in the shape of a penis. So I'm a little bit bummed out that I'm going to be traveling during it, but maybe I'll just celebrate when is the nearest full moon? Or new moon, maybe. Either way. I know, I miss the old times when you could just throw on some ruby slippers, click your heels, and just be in Kansas, right? Then I wouldn't have to drive 2,000 miles. Thank you, Ms. Damie. Very sweet of you. I appreciate it. I live in Texas, and East Texas is prairie, while West Texas is clay desert. Okay, the desert starts in Texas, and then it just goes through Arizona into Southern California. Ha! Pitotl says, I live in Massachusetts. There are plenty of times that I drive through Rhode Island, and you can tell when you shift from state to state because you'll see the speed limit change from 65 to 55, or the other way around, which happens right before you see the welcome to the state signs. Yeah, wow. The biggest difference in America when you drive from one state to the next is that some states have different speed limits. Yeah, crazy. Someone asked earlier if our roads are really windy or relatively straight, and it super depends. Like, we built these interstate highways that, especially the ones that go east to west, they are relatively straight, like as straight as you can get, especially over the flat parts. But then you get into the mountains, and there's kind of nothing you can do except go wee 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 wee. If you're looking flat down at the map, it's like wee 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 wee. And when you're actually experiencing it, it's like wee 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 wee, and then you go wee 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 wee, like you're pointed very up or very down. So that's part of what I'm excited for. I'm doing it in my little car instead of, yeah, we completely avoided it. We literally drove all the way down through New Mexico to get around the Rocky Mountains instead of going up that kind of crazy ascent with fucking all of my life behind me. Like my entire everything in my living room, all my computers and shit in the truck. Here in New Zealand, our biome is hills, city town, farmland, green grass, or just bush and winding roads. Not many straight roads at all. I fucking love New Zealand. It's gorgeous down there. Next full moon is May 1st. How did they manage to swing this? I don't actually know. I guess I don't know the woman that my brother is getting married to. But if she's pagan, dude, she hit the fucking jackpot. She's getting married on Beltane on a full moon. That's crazy. Wow. I've been to 49 states and Missouri was the worst. The only saving grace were the caves. I like the Lake of the Ozarks. I mean, I don't know what my adult evaluation of them would be, but it's like where I learned how to fish and we went swimming and we went like cliff jumping, like jumping off the cliffs into the lake. So yeah, I enjoyed the Lake of the Ozarks. I would say that Missouri has like a couple of saving graces. I've been in Iceland for the past month and there isn't a single straight road here. True. Bramley says the towns on the borders of states don't feel different, but the middles of states will feel different from each other. That's not my personal experience, but I don't know. Again, like a lot of my travel experience was when I was younger, like being sent to spend a few weeks with a grandparent in the summertime. And honestly, like, I can't remember if it was both of my parents or just my mom really preferred to drive at night. So sometimes doing that long trip across Kansas was happening at nighttime and I would be asleep. And like, I haven't been to Florida since I was pretty young. So yeah, I don't know. It from my childlike experience, it was not different enough from place to place. Ugh. It's called misery for a reason, true. Shakespeare is going to be on GDQ on a show doing commentary for a speedrunner. Ooh, that's fun. Hell yeah. I meant to travel to more states, but I got addicted to the mountains and deserts. Climb, repeat, climb, repel, repeat. True. Should I get a Bacillus anthracis plushie? Let me see it. It's so cute. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can get a good picture of it. It's so cute. It's anthrax. I didn't know that that's what it looked. Why is it so cute? It also looks so dumb. Oh, that's adorable. I love that. That's so cute. That's crazy. That's crazy. You should get it. That's awesome. I can't believe that they're getting married on Beltane on a full moon. That's fucked up. By that I mean I'm really jealous. And also it means that I can't celebrate Beltane on the full moon because I'm gonna be there. Ah. Dang. I swear to God, if they don't have a maypole at this wedding, I'm gonna throw shit. I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna throw shit. Anyway, thanks for giving me some ideas on how to make it through this road trip. Gonna be a wild wedding night, true. It's gonna be like late too. I think the wedding itself is at like 5 p.m., but then like the end of the celebration is at like 10 p.m. I don't think we're gonna stay for all that. And it's outdoors, so thank God. Um, but yeah, I swear. I listen, if I'm so excited actually. I wonder how many of our friends from the Renaissance Festival are gonna be there. Because it's like people that we know from the Renaissance Festival. That's going to be so awesome. I did suggest to my partner that it would be very funny if we wore our Ren Fair garb to this wedding, but I think that we're just going to dress like normal people. My partner was like, well, it is like basically the most expensive clothes I own. Like, yeah. But then I was like, wait, all of my clothes for the Renaissance Festival are like midriff bearing, and I don't think that's super appropriate for a wedding. It is supposed to be a relatively casual thing, but I just feel like it would be rude to wear like a crop top, basically. Do you have to worry about any of your friends turning into werewolves under the full moon? Worry? Why would I worry about such an awesome thing happening? I got married on a new moon on February 22 on 2020. The twos heralded the joining. It's also extremely easy to remember. True. 2 to 2, 2 to 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Suggestion for your road trip, if you like audiobooks or can read while moving, The Indifferent Stars Above is about the Donner Party. It's crazy. I'm almost done. So much I didn't know about. I'll keep that in mind. I will keep that in mind. Yeah. It's interesting because I often don't think about having my own personal entertainment because I am 100% sure that my partner, well, I don't actually know. Like, babe, do you want to listen to a book about the Donner Party? Maybe. I don't know. That's interesting. We do have audiobooks. We already listen to this audiobook series every night. It's the Aragon series. So we listen to them when we go to bed, and I just put a sleep timer on my Audible app. So we do have like many, many, many hours of audiobooks that we could listen to. And we each could listen to music. I guess I don't really have a lot of music saved on my phone, and I also am only paying for like a 5 gig plan right now, so I cannot listen to a shit ton of music during the drive. Often me and partner listen to Star Talk or Lateral podcasts. I don't know why I find Neil deGrasse Tyson really annoying now. I used to kind of find him to be interesting, and now I find him really annoying. And I don't know. I was picturing you showing up in a full suit of armor, which would be funny. I would love plate armor, but I think I would cook alive in plate armor. I do not deal well with being overheated. I'm looking at getting married at a Ren Fair. That would be so fun. We at the Kansas City Renaissance Festival, they actually have a weekend that's like the weekend of love where a bunch of people showed up and got married at the fair. It's like it feels a little bit impersonal, I guess, if you're just like one after the other, like, or like, I don't know. It seemed a little less romantic that way. And of course, if you want to actually rent out the space, then it's more expensive. Oh, yeah, got a bunch of tabs open. I don't need open now. Cool. Got dinner going and I has a headache. No. That's rough. I just got for myself, because I overheat very easily, I got one of those masks that like you put it in the fridge or the freezer and it like makes your head get colder. I think putting it in the freezer is actually too cold if you're going to be putting it around your entire head. I had to take it off almost immediately. I was like, oh, actually, this is going to give me a headache. And I don't know if it's going to give me brain damage to like put my brain in a refrigerator right now. But it has 3 pieces. It slides over your head, and then it has like eye holes. And then there's a separate piece that is just the eye mask part. So you could put that on separately. And then it also has a neck thing that like it kind of comes all the way around your neck and it Velcros. I think maybe it's supposed to Velcro behind you, actually. But boy, that made a difference when I was struggling. Like Sunday, I was overheating, I think because of hormones or something. And I ended up like, before the stream started, I was wearing the thing around my neck, and then I took it off for the stream and I put it around my belly, and then I moved it to behind my back, and it made a difference. It felt really good. The Indifferent Stars Above is from the perspective of Sarah Graves, a 21-year-old who was on the trail. Everything she went through from leaving the Midwest all the way across the Sierras, it's harrowing. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun entertainment. My partner is the kind of person who listens to true crime occasionally, and I don't. But yeah, I'm not really into it. I'm not really into like, ooh, bad things happen to people. I'm like, I know that. I do not need the details. That's just a me. That's just a my personality. Neil deGrasse Tyson gets shit from people like Bill Maher for being too pro-trans, so there is that going for him at least. Yeah. Wasn't there like an allegation about Neil deGrasse Tyson? Like allegations, you know, like the kind of allegations that is not good. And then since then, I've just been like, yeah, I don't know why, but I find you really annoying. Also, I just saw a clip came across like my Facebook timeline of Neil deGrasse Tyson being like, oh, you know, imagine being a human at this time and basically no one lived past the age of 30. And I'm like, please tell me that you're not that fucking stupid. Because the average age being 30 does not mean that people only live to the age of 30. What it means is that the child mortality rate brings the average down. And humans throughout human history have generally lived to be like 60 years old. So I was like, wow, are you that fucking stupid on top of everything else? Like, are you for real right now, dude? So maybe that's just me being judgmental. But sometimes you be a judgmental bitch. Listen, sometimes you be judging. I've just suddenly wanted a wedding for the first time, but it would also be a rave and held at the trans nightclub. Just have straight up ticket sales for the wedding. True. NDT does have some sketchy skeletons in his closet involving 3 women making allegations. He also said something about a lot of his colleagues being on the spectrum and not as good at talking, which came off not great. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I can't stand when people don't get that it's an average. Truly. Yeah, I do be judging. Exactly, Fauna. I be judging. True. The Donner Pass story is like frontier true crime. Yeah, we were thinking about it. Like when we were driving up here, it was like, imagine you're like traveling west and you like get over the top of this mountain and there's a fucking another mountain in front of you. Like, how hard must that have been just on a day-to-day basis being like, when does it end? I just feel like it's going on forever and ever and ever. And people say that like the Oregon Trail ended in the Willamette Valley. It's like, did they even know that they had reached the western coast? Because in the Willamette Valley, you're still like an hour on the highway. So an hour at 60 miles per hour away from the ocean. So like when the Oregon Trail stopped in the Willamette Valley, did they even know that they had reached the West Coast? That is a crazy concept. Like imagine being the first colonists. Like obviously there were native people who already lived here. I'm aware of that. We are on tribal land even here in Oregon. Like, you know, I was born in Kansas where everything is named after the Kansa tribe, and now I live in Oregon where, you know, everything still is Native American based or whatever the fuck. But like just imagine being a colonist and being like, "Oh my god, this is interminable." Yeah, When traveling, always bring an extra friend to supply you with enough food. In 2018 and 2019, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson was accused of sexual misconduct by 3 women, including... Did you just copy-paste that? Like, okay, yeah, I know he was like accused, and then he addressed it, and like but it's like, nuh-uh. Like, yeah, I've heard plenty of people go, nuh-uh. There are enough science people to listen to. I feel like I don't really need Neil deGrasse Tyson, including Forrest and Erica, etc. Fair enough. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I hang out with like Dr. Aaron Adair is like a physicist and talks about astrophysics. I've got that. Like, I don't really need Neil deGrasse Tyson. I can personally message Aaron Adair and be like, hey, I have a physics question, and he will respond. You really should listen to Indifferent Stars because the trek is way longer than history class made it out to be. Listen, I can imagine what it would be like in a wagon going like chugga chugga choo choo across the United States before there were highways. It sounds like a fucking nightmare. Lewis and Clark did make it to the Pacific Ocean where the Columbia River terminates. Cool museum there. Okay, cool. So they made it to the ocean, and then people were like, oh shit, we should settle in the Willamette Valley. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, a huge number of city and town names here in the PNW are based on the names/words of the indigenous tribes who lived here. Right, like Umpqua. Tell me that Umpqua is an English word. Ever since Neil deGrasse Tyson said we should just write bug-free software, I can't take the man seriously. True enough. Every close friend I have has at least 2 PhDs. I don't need more hard shit in my or more smart shit in my life. That's funny. Yeah, I really try to put some respect on the PhDs. I'm like Dr. Aaron Adair because I know how fucking relentless you have to be to get a PhD. And then it's going to be Dr. Gutsick Gibbon and Dr. Valkai. They're both working on their doctorates right now. Who else do I know? Sarah Leaving Faith has a PhD. I think, is it in anthropology? No, it's not in anthropology. It's in something else. Maybe it is in anthropology. If you know what Sarah Leaving Faith's PhD is in, I can't remember what it is. Someone just told me. And I was like, damn, respect on her name. Right, what? Free software? Yeah, bug-free software. 2 PhDs is crazy, though. That's for sickos, exactly. I learned my queer rave boss who wears tiny shorts and UV reactive paint has a PhD in chemistry. True. I don't, I was thinking about this week. I don't really have any desire to have a PhD. I do, I want to go to school for electrical engineering right now. And I really crave some kind of title, but the title for, an engineer is PE, professional engineer. And that means that you can sign off on plans, and you would have like the liability and everything from all the safety at the end of that plan or whatever, those blueprints or whatever the fuck it is. So I find that I do crave that, but I'm like, how would you get a PhD in engineering, right? Like, I'm not going into chemical engineering, so I really doubt that I'm going to be able to come up with like some new way, some new way of like some new technology for solar panels or whatever. Like, I don't think I'm going to come up with something that's like, oh, I'm making new research in my field, because that's what a PhD is. It's like you have to make original research in your field, which means that someday there is like a terminal area where there's not going to be any more PhDs, hypothetically, depending on the field. So I'm like, well, how could an engineer... Okay, let's actually ask this question. How could an electrical engineer have a PhD? I guess you can get a PhD in order to be a teacher. How do you get a PhD in engineering? Or does this mean something different than I think it does? I'm a PE. Fucking high five 10K reasons. That's cool. What are you an engineer of? What kind of engineer? I want to be an electrical engineer in the sense that I design solar farms, or like maybe learning about the engineering of hydroelectric dams or something. I want an office job. What it comes down to is like I want to work an office job or like a remote work job that involves like problem solving and like math and stuff like that, and like maybe design. So maybe like CAD or whatever, something along those lines. I'm okay with learning controls, but something in renewables, something like that. AP says, I just wrote a bunch of code for a job interview, and let me tell you, bug-free software is not a thing. There will always be bugs, just like in regular life. Bugs, everywhere bugs. Yeah, true. Yes, there's a reason Tyson is an astrophysicist and not a programmer. Typically, an engineer with a PhD would end up teaching at a university. But I'm saying, like, what kind of new research can you make in engineering? Okay, Dr. Viren is here to educate me. In fairness, the research you do as a PhD, at least starting out, is not necessarily fully original work from you, but a research project your advisor came up with and puts you on. There are exceptions, but at least part of it is going to be something an expert in the field helps you get going. Okay. I was just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be so much school. Even just doing a graduate program, I'm like, let me get through. I'm going to do community college and then maybe 2 years. I haven't fully committed to this. I still like, actually, I was telling my partner, like, hey, I want to hear like all of your thoughts about this. If you have good or bad thoughts of like the idea of me going into school full time, in order to become an electrical engineer. And we still haven't had that conversation. So we're about to be trapped in a car together for 5 days. I'm not going to pressure him to have a hard conversation during that. But I'm just like, it's like, okay. Can we get around to it at some point, please? Like, I have shit that I have to, like, be doing things. I'm like, okay, I have things I have to actively do in the springtime in order to do enrollment later this year. And I'm just doing those things. And, like, I can back out at any point up until I'm enrolling in the classes. So I'm just kind of, like, doing the things. And, like, if I get some really good convincing reasons not to, then I won't. But, yeah, I'm just like, I guess I do create. It's like, oh, what if I was a doctor in electrical engineering? But the only point of getting a PhD would then to be a teacher. And God, I don't want to fucking be a teacher. I'm a civil engineer. Ooh, exciting. You know what's really fun about engineering is that there's so much overlap. Like a civil engineer could be doing electrical engineering work. And electrical engineering, it seems like increasingly is referring to electronics engineering or robotics engineering. Whereas when I think of an electrical engineer, I'm thinking of like electrical systems because I was an electrician. And so of course I think of it in that terms, but it's like technically electrical systems are more of a mechanical engineering or civil engineering type thing, depending on what the scale of work that you're doing is. So anyway, it's just fun to think about. I don't think we'll ever run out of engineering advancements. Right, we still have to do space travel, you know? With a PhD, you really got to be in it for the love of the game to go through the first one, and the second one is just madness. That's very fun. A doctorate in computer science would be kick-ass, and the title would be great with my name, but hot damn, the monetary costs feel insurmountable. I don't know how people do school without Pell Grants. Like, I have no idea. Hi, baby. I said hi to her, and she's not acknowledging me at all. She's licking herself. Why are you in here? What are you doing? Pretty baby girl. Amazing little angel. We're not going to get anywhere near the donation goal for today, so I'm just going to talk to you off camera. You good girl. Are you good? Mina Bina. I think she just ate. She's busy. I work for a fire protection contractor. Ooh, that's fun. Make Star Trek real. True. There's a ridiculous amount of overlap in engineering. Yeah, it's fun. Like, if you ever want to completely obliterate your feeling of like binary systems, just think about engineering for a few minutes. Oh, I'm about to go back for a bachelor's in computer science. I got super lucky and my work is paying for it. Yeah, true. That's also an option. You know, if you get a job and you're like, ooh, hey job, can you pay for me to continue my education? That would be sweet. We love our civil infrastructure over here. Yay, civil engineer person. True. And it's like, it is science. It's just a different kind of science. That's literally what cracked my egg. Really? Like, acknowledging the lack of binaries in engineering? That's funny. Yay, more computer science folks. Listen, I support you guys getting into computer science. I personally cannot imagine that would be fun for me. I'm sort of kind of going to try to convince my employer to pay for a degree for me, but I also don't think that I'm going to get an actual PhD, just a master's or something. I'm guessing that what's happening there is that the company can write that off as a company expense. So that's fucked up. That a company can write off paying for your school as one of their business expenses, but that you can't write it off as part of your expenses for your job and your business. That's fucked up. Anyway, I'm going to get some water and I'll be right back. Hey, baby Nina. Hi, baby. Hello, I'm back. Guess who's back again. I have peanut butter. Peeper number. Just gonna devour some peeper number real quick. Tide me over till dinner time. Like I said earlier, I was gonna eat a giant salad, but the raw onion made my tummy hurt. Sometimes I feel not so smart because the only thing I excel at is music. Listen, I feel like music is actually really hard because, like, having knowledge of music theory or like the applied knowledge of how to use the programs that you use or anything like that, it's all just a different kind of study at the end of the day. It's all just different kinds of intelligence and like different kinds of pattern matching, right? Like, me sitting here with my pre-calculus book that doesn't make me smart, that I can like memorize formulas and like know how number work together, right? That's not like, I don't think it's any more smart than anything else. It's just like an applied skill that you acquire. Paper number. Faldy says, I feel a bit like Forrest when I'm getting into computer science topics with people. Low-level optimizations and testing topics can fill so many hours of conversation if the other person doesn't just glaze their eyes over. True. I think that's true when you get into any kind of particulars of any field. That, like, most people aren't going to know what the fuck you're talking about. And you just kind of have to run with that. You just kind of have to be willing to be like, yeah, people don't know. Like, they have no idea. Currently, my health is a job I have. Dude, I feel you so much. When I'm like, I have to go to the gym for an hour a day, basically. Or at least work out for an hour a day if I'm not working out from home. But it's like part of managing my illness or whatever the fuck is going on with me. And that isn't going to stop when my symptoms start to resolve. I would say my symptoms are already starting to resolve. But even if I get to a place where I'm like, yeah, I feel totally fully healthy, and the only thing I have to do is like manage how easily I overheat or whatever. Thank you. But yeah, it's an enormous amount of time just taking care of your health. Thank you, Fern in the Forest, for the $10 super chat. Further education is what is missing from our world. The system effed it up and made it too expensive, so now no one can go. Also, yay for computer science talk today. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I'll add that to the donation goal. 20. I appreciate y'all hanging out today. I don't know why my caps lock was on. That's crazy. And like I said, I am not going to see you guys again for a couple weeks. Okay, sorry. I just saw that my partner texted me earlier, and I just didn't get a fucking notification for it. I have no idea what I was saying. Oh, yeah. School is expensive, but I will say I got way more in FAFSA than I thought I was going to. Like, I'm approved for way more Pell Grants than I thought I was gonna have access to, which might change when my younger sibling moves out. But yeah, it's not bad. So I mean, it's also gonna be less and less because I make more money now than I made a couple years ago. So it's like gonna be less and less by the time if I get to like the end of my college career or whatever. But there's also scholarships. Like I applied for scholarships, and those are also free money. And like, if you can cover even like 50% of your schooling with scholarships and stuff, then, you know, either pay for the rest of it out of pocket or put it on a payment plan or get like a small number of student loans. Like, I think it's fair. You may not see us, but we'll see you tomorrow, probably. Well, that's true. Yeah, so when I say like I won't see you guys, I mean my stream. I'm not going to see you guys on my stream until May 6th. So, but I will be on, I'll do double duty tomorrow, Takis and Calling It Now. And then I'll do my regular production stuff. Well, I'll be producing in the morning or early afternoon on the 26th, and then regular Skep Talk and Chewed Gum on the 27th and 28th. So I'll still see y'all in the chat and everything. Take it from a PhD. Being smart is not the same as being formally educated, nor is it a talent. It's the intersection between curiosity and practice. True. Yeah, it's just like dedication, honestly. I usually miss your streams with getting off work and doing housework. Stoked I was able to catch it today. Hell yes. I know some people also put streams on in the background while they're doing chores. So, you know, you don't have to like be present in the chat to still enjoy the presence of me and chat, you know, silently cheering you on as you get your shit done, you know? By the way, is there anything in the news that I should know about? Like, but you know, we're in the last like 30 minutes of the show. Is there any crazy news that happened that I just haven't been paying attention to? I listen while playing WoW. Very fun. I haven't played WoW in a couple months, and I don't particularly miss it. I have been going all in on Graveyard Keeper. I started a new file over, and I already had all of the DLC, but I didn't actually finish all of the DLC. So I'm starting from the beginning, working my way through it. Graveyard Keeper 2 is going to come out later this year, so if you haven't played Graveyard Keeper, it's actually free right now. It's kind of like Stardew Valley, but if you were maintaining a graveyard and potentially selling human flesh to the villagers, and also potentially there's a cult underneath the church on your graveyard. So, anyway. Guild Wars 2 here. Hell yeah, Guild Wars 2. I remember that being quite fun. I had one of the tree people on Guild Wars 2. God, it's been over a decade since I played that game. A girl got a felony for making a joke about Netanyahu. What? No. Byron says, I've played instruments for years, but never could get myself over the hump from noodling to composition. Yeah, I'm not a composer. I guess, like, I know enough. I can put together 4 chords, and then the style that I like to play on my guitar is like a finger picking style. So, like, I'll set my left hand, and then I'll pluck some like pattern with my right hand, and then I'll change to the chord, and then pluck the pattern again. So technically speaking, I guess I can sort of compose music in that sense, but only in the very loosest possible definition of the term. But I definitely don't know enough about music theory. So yeah, like I said, it's like everything that human beings do is just a matter of attention and practice. Like, I don't even know that there is any such thing as talent. And what I will say is, like, when we think of talent, I think that some people pick things up easier than others. So, like, I know someone who, like, she gets into a new hobby, and then it just seems like, how are you just immediately good at that too? And I think it's, like, probably, first of all, like, maybe some people just pick things up really easily. And also maybe some people are perfectionists. So the only thing I'm seeing you post is, like, the stuff that you got right. Or maybe you get everything right because you take the time to get it perfect every time. Like, this, you know, the perfectionism bug and how it ruins your life and everything. Sylvari are the best. It's changed a lot in a decade. Yeah. I'm playing Graveyard Keeper for the first time. I nabbed it free a couple days ago. Might have sat in my library if you didn't mention it the other day too. Listen, it's a very fun game. Talent does exist, but its role in most things is overblown. IMO. Fair enough. Fair enough. Shakespeare. I tried to learn guitar and never could find that secret chord that pleased the Lord, so I bought a vibrator and pleased myself instead. JK, I never played guitar. I play cello and harmonica, though. I would love to have a cello. I do not have the space for a cello, but I would really, really love to have one. It's one of those, like, bucket list wish items that it's like, if I ever own a house or have more space, that's one of the instruments that I want. It's actually one of the only instruments I want that I don't have. I'm trying to think now, are there any other instruments that I want but don't have? I guess I'd kind of like a viola, because I like that they're bigger than a violin. So, like, a viola would be cool. Yeah, I guess I can't think of... There's not, like, any other instruments that I don't currently have that I want. My partner has a bass ocarina. I could hypothetically borrow and play that if I wanted to play a bass ocarina. So, yeah. Just a cello. I have some songs that I consider my, quote, perfectionist songs. Neural Anarchy is one of them, which you seem to play a lot during pre-stream. Yeah, I mean, mostly Jazz Dog. I really like your old chiptunes, so those are the ones that I generally like to play, but you said that you would prefer if I played some of your more recent music, so sometimes it's easy to just go to your chiptune playlist on your YouTube channel and just play some of those, and there's only 5 songs on that playlist, so if I play 2 or 3 songs in the opening, then that, you know, that's gonna naturally be one of them. But I really like some of your old music that sounds like boss battle music. Or there's this one song, I can't remember what it's called. It's the one, like, in the middle. It's like do 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 do. That I'm like, that song. The whole song sounds like a whole hero's journey from beginning to end. Like, I love that song. I know that you're, like, it's really old stuff of yours, though, so I try to get a mixture of, I play the ones that I downloaded off of your Bandcamp that are on my computer, and then sometimes, like I said, I'll just go to your YouTube channel and play off of that list. You had me at Boss Battle? Maybe. Is that the one I'm thinking of? But the whole thing is like a journey. It feels like it's really taking you somewhere. And I just really like that one. Cello. I just got put on a wait list at my local music shop for a rental cello. Nice. That sounds fun. I love juggling fire while playing harmonica. Nothing spices up a performance or an anxiety attack quite like harmonica. Okay. I love music that tells a story. Yeah. I want to see if that's the right one. You had me at boss battle. Let's see. Oh my god, why are you like that? Oh, it might be going all out. Let me see. No, that's not the right one. I do love that one, but that's not the right one. I feel like you had me at boss battle. No. No. No, that's not the right one. Sorry, I'm so sorry. That's probably really loud. Which one is it? I can't remember how it starts. It's the part in the middle that I'm thinking of. That reminds me of the Ren Fair Fire Whip guy. Yeah, Jacques Zwipper. I find him really annoying. I don't know why. And maybe it's just because he keeps popping up on my shit and I never followed him. I want a couple of folksy percussion instruments, but then I know I'm falling into the trap of getting gear instead of doing something with the myriad things I already have. I think it's you had me at boss battle. Really? Let me turn this down a little bit. Is it this one? No. No. Oh, it is this one. Yeah, something about the change in intensity there. You're right. It's you had me at boss battle. Okay, you're right though. You're right though. Cool. Yeah, that's my favorite. Did you hear my Jordan Peterson song though? It's new. No, let's listen to Jazz Dog's Jordan Peterson song. Jazz Dog. You guys, okay, so I haven't watched the new episode of Invincible yet. I have a prediction about what's going to happen in the episode. And I think based on the thumbnails that I've been seeing today, I think I was correct. Something happens to Mark. And I think it happens this episode. Do not confirm, Dr. Viren. I will find out in a few hours. Or tomorrow, or whenever we decide to watch it. But I was like, oh shit. I was thinking about what happens next in the story, and I was like, oh man, they're gonna end the season with that, aren't they? I think they're gonna end the season with that. Damn. Who would have guessed Jazz Dog knows their own music? Well, that's one that they made when they were like a teenager. So, you know. Whatever. Anyway, Mark finally thinks like his dad told him to. Yeah, true. Where is your new Jordan Peterson song? Where is it? Where? Yeah, but like which one is it? Is Jordan Peterson in the like okay, I'm looking at it. Which one of these is it? Okay, hold on. Oh, it's You Are Now a Normal Rat. Okay, cool.
Rat is this. Normal rat's like this. That's a normal rat. Normal rat's like this. That's a normal rat. Normal rat's like this. That's a normal rat. Normal rat's like this. That's a normal rat.
Oh, why is it loading all of a sudden? Okay.
Normal rat's like this. That's a normal rat. Normal rat's like this. That's a normal rat. this, like this, that's a normal rap. Like this, like this, like this, like this, sniffs. This, like this, like this, like this, like this, that's a normal rap. Like this, like this, like this, like this, sniffs. Quite the wire, 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 quite the wire. You are now a normal rap. Normal rap's like this, that's 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 a normal rap.
I love the beat and the boots.
That's a normal rap. Normal rap's like this, that's a normal rap. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, that's a normal rap. Like this, like this, like this, like this, sniffs. This, like this, like this, like this, like this, that's a normal rap. Like this, like this, like this, like this, sniffs. Quite the wire, 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 quite the wire. You are now a normal rap. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, that's a normal rap. Like this, like this, like this, like this, sniffs. This, like this, like this, like this, like this, that's a normal rap. Like this, like this, like this, like this, sniffs. Quite the wire, 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 quite the wire. You are now a normal rap.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. No, stop it. Do not play Brian David Gilbert. Stop it. Why would you do such a thing? Anyway, that's fun. Alexander, the reason I thought you would speak to Ben, you are still on this. It has been 2.5 hours. I thought you would speak to Ben is because his daughter Grace came out as lesbian this week and he seems to be open to advice these days. I literally spoke to him a month ago and he was a prick. He was a prick. A month ago. Or 2 within the last couple months, and he was a prick. I'm not going to believe that he had some kind of amazing character growth in the last month. Jesus. Anyway, oh yeah, there's context for the remarks. What was the context?
Rat is this. The rats are all like this. The rat goes like this. So the rat's like this. The normal rat is like this. That's the normal rat. Like this, like this. It sniffs. It's like this for quite a while. He's like this. And then maybe he sniffs. You are now a normal rat.
Okay, fun. Yeah, so he seems like he was on cocaine or something. Who's Ben? What I miss? Fauna. Ben Thorpe. I don't even know what is his thing. Is he a content creator? Like, I don't know. He called in the Takis people like a month or 2 ago, and Arden was like, "Wait, is this Ben Thorpe?" And like he had been arrested for child abuse, because he kicked his daughter on a live stream. So, yeah, and like this guy in the chat, Mark, who has just been consistently like, are you going to debate Ben? Are you going to debate Ben Thorpe? Are you going to debate Ben Thorpe? Jesus. Alexander seeing Grace turn lesbian has changed Ben. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. He was an asshole. Listen. You don't stop being an asshole because your kid comes out as a lesbian. He was an asshole. And especially, like, you realize that there are gay people who are transphobic, right? His entire thing was like, trans people are weird and it's not normal and it's not okay. And I'm going to teach my kids that it's not normal and it's not okay. I don't care about his character development. He's not on an arc like fucking Zuko. He's an asshole. Why would I give him the time of, like, why? Why would I care? He was personally rude to me. A month ago. Jesus. At this point, if Jordan B. Peterson ever reemerged into public life, I'm gonna cast harsh judgment on whoever is paying him to do that. Truly, yeah. It's like, yeah, you know what? Guess what? My mom also probably wants back in my life and thinks that she's changed. And the only reason I would ever cross that bridge is I'm about to try to start therapy again because I keep having fucking dreams. Literally last night I had a dream about my mom. And it's weird because in a lot of my dreams recently I've been having, like, I'm in school. Like, I'm a teenager in school. So a month is like a year in YouTuber time. Not in this YouTuber's time. I am one of two modes. I either forget shit immediately or I hold a grudge for the rest of my life, and there is no in between. Sometimes I do forget things easily, and I'm just like, I just write someone off, and I'm like, oh wow, I haven't thought about that person in years. That person fucking sucks. And then I go back to forgetting that they exist. Yeah, there was a transphobic gay woman whose content showed up in my feed recently. Legitimately. So I'm like, just because your daughter comes out as a lesbian doesn't mean you're suddenly not a fucking asshole about trans people anymore. True, there are even trans people who are transphobic. Right. What does Ben Thorpe even talk about? I'm gonna fucking ruin my recommendations right now by looking up Ben Thorpe on YouTube and being like, what does he even do? Okay, we have a video from 2 years ago. Ben Thorpe threatens to unalive Destiny, which, fuck Destiny, but also you shouldn't say those things online. Like what, like, where is he was like a Twitch streamer, so maybe if I'm looking on YouTube, then maybe then there's not anything here. There's a lot of stuff about Ben Thorpe, but I don't know if he actually posts here. Maybe he's just on Twitch. Do you have any advice for Grace as a new lesbian? Not really. I'm not a lesbian. I don't really. It's like, I'm not young like that anymore. I'm not actively dating right now. I'm not a lesbian. I have nothing. You can delete it from your YouTube history and that helps call the algo. It's just that I searched it, so I don't know if you can remove things from your search history. I haven't clicked any videos. I just typed in the words Ben Thorpe. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. Ben Thorpe, aka Abel. Is that his channel? Wait. Mark, hey Mark, are you paying attention? Is this his channel? Ben Thorpe, aka Abel? Is this him? Is that him? Please tell me if this is him. Yeah, Lux with my husband. Yeah, I have great advice for lesbians. Exactly. Is this it, Mark? Are you still there, Mark? There's a huge chat delay. Yes, that's him. Dude, literally. Guys, the first video on this channel, the first video that I see on this channel says the problem with domestic violence laws from a year ago. Oh, he's changed. Oh, he's changed. Are you for real with me right now? Oh, no. Oh, no. Look at it. It's literally, look at it. The problem with domestic violence laws. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it right there. Need I say any more? Do I need to say any more? That's crazy. Okay. Okay. I'm hollering. I am hollering. That's crazy. That's embarrassing. You brought out my fag voice. That's embarrassing. Oh boy. It's not old. That's a year ago. You realize, like, if somebody's in their like 40s or 50s, I'm looking at their behavior from the last 5 years as being like pretty highly indicative of what kind of person they are currently, right? You know? Wow, that's crazy. That's literally crazy. Also, he's Catholic? Is he still Catholic? Like Ben Thorpe Catholic? That's crazy. I'm not gonna fucking legitimize a Catholic by giving them equal footing in a debate, dude. A Catholic child abuser, dude. Oh boy. Oh boy. What's everybody doing for the next week? Alexander Ben also believes women shouldn't have chairs, but that's a great debate for you to have. I would rather peel my fingernails off, Mark. In how many different ways do I need to tell you this? How many different ways do I need to say? I'm going to peel my eyelids off. I'm going to tweeze out every one of my pubic hairs. I'm going to take all of my Lego and dump them all over the floor, which is going to cover at least my living room and my kitchen. And I'm going to walk on them every day before I would debate Ben Thorpe. My week here is a long weekend for Anzac Day. I don't know what Anzac Day is. Probably some European thing, but my partner has 2 days off extra, so chill, junk food and movies. Yeah, I don't even know if I get 2 days off this weekend. We started our new show, The Devangelicals, and I have no idea if we're scheduled to do it this weekend. So I'm like working tomorrow a double. And then Friday I don't work, so that's like my one day that I'm gonna chill and like try not to do anything. Unless Jimmy decides to have the goddamn scheduling meeting that day, which I don't think so. It's probably gonna be Wednesday next week, which means I'm gonna miss it. And then like, yeah, I might have to work on Saturday. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm sort of start driving on Wednesday. So yeah, I might only have like one day off between now and when I go on my little mini vacation, which is really not gonna be much of a vacation because we're gonna be driving for 5 days. Not sure which is worse, the pube plugging or Lego Walk of Death. True. Excuse me. Anzac is our NZ/Aussie Remembrance Day for World War I and World War II, pretty much. Nice. My week is packed with friends hangs. Hell yeah, that's exciting. Yep, it's going to be good. I'm on with Riverboat Jack again tomorrow, actually, on Takis, so that's going to be good. And then I think I'm on with Jovan on Calling It Now. So that's going to be just like double, triple hitters. That's going to be fun. Hella late, and unless I am inept, no stream Sunday, Boo City. Yeah, I'm not going to be streaming Sunday because I am producing for the Sunday show on the line. And I'm not going to like stream later in the day. I'm just going to enjoy not having shit to do. I'm like trading with Arden, so I'm going to be producing the show that she normally produces at 1 p.m. And then she's going to do the After Dark show. Ben was a high school teacher for 20 years. Yeah, he's probably ruined an entire generation of children. I keep missing Takis. I need to get my shit together. I know, listen. We are all complaining about the time of day that we do Takis, and it's not going to change. It's just not going It's not going to change. Jimmy's like, no, I'm not going to change it. So it's just going to be at 2 p.m. Central Time for the rest of forever. Churning out airplane parts until Friday, and then it is gig time. Ooh, you're a machinist or a welder? Only metal band on a weird alt/indie bill. I also meant stream this past Sunday. Oh, did I stream this past Sunday? I thought that I did. I think, yeah, I streamed on Sunday. Let me check my calendar, actually. Am I crazy? No, sorry. Yeah, my apologies. I did Calling It Now with Jovan instead of streaming. I covered for Jimmy on Calling It Now. So you can, if you want to see the thing that I did on Sunday, it's just on the Jimmy Snow channel. But yeah, I did not stream my actual show this past weekend. And then I will not be streaming my actual show again until May 6th. So, wow. Jimmy transphobic confirmed. True. Yeah, he's just giving me work and work and work and work, which is transphobic, except that I'm going to be making hella money next month. Hella money next month. I run a press break, bending metal. Oh, okay. Bender Bending Rodriguez is your name. That sounds good. Oh, this flower is starting to like, it's like opening up. It's opened since we started streaming. It's like opened even more. I don't know if this is like, oh, it's opening so much that it's about to, like the petal's about to fall off, but look at how pretty that is. So pretty. So pretty. Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy's transphobic except for how much money he pays me in Arden, which is kind of a lot. Thank you, my unfinished journet, who gave me a $2 super chat. Hail Lux and hail making hella money. That's true. That's true. We out here working. We out here grinding. We out here getting that bread. That's pretty much like what I'm doing nowadays. I finally like recorded the intro outro standard thing. Like I'm just gonna put the same intro outro on all of my videos from now on. As I upload the stream clips from the calls and everything. So I finally fucking did that this week. So you will start to see calls again popping up as like clips on my channel, probably starting next week. So I'll be working on that. Like, I guess, man, do I not actually, wait, I was about to say, am I actually going to do that all day on Friday? But I probably should wait and just do it on Monday. I'll do it Monday. I just assume you and Arden are always threatening him so he can't step out of line. That's true. What's actually really funny is that sometimes, and I don't want to go into details, but like sometimes Jimmy will be like, he'll ask me to do something and I'll agree. And he'll be like, just to confirm, you're not just saying yes because I'm your boss. And I'm like, no, I'm not just saying yes because you're my boss. And he's like, oh, good, because you can't get me canceled for that now. I'm like, yeah, you dodged a bullet on that one. You just narrowly escaped getting canceled. But yeah, we're friends first, I think. And, you know, if I'm like, dude, there's basically never been anything that he's actually upset me about. I can't remember actually ever being upset truly with Jimmy. Yeah. Thank you, my unfinished sock. With a $2 super chat. Don't overwork Lux. Like and share instead. Truly. Like and share. Yeah, when the clips start coming out again next week, make sure to like and share those and boost them around and tell everybody how great it is. Cancel his ass. I know. But listen, yeah. Listen. Jimmy's cool. Jimmy's my friend. We're good. Everything's good. He's never pissed me off. Part of this, I guess, is also like I mostly have friendships where I don't get super deeply involved with people. So I'm like, how could you possibly piss me off? Because we don't even talk that much. But yeah, go fuck yourself, Jimmy. Exactly. Yep. All right. Well, you know what? My voice is tired and I have therapy later, so I'm going to go eat something and rest my voice and try to avoid spoilers for Invincible, even though I'm pretty sure I know what happens. Because I know what happens in the comics at this point in the storyline. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. I'll try to remember to ping in the Discord. I'm sorry I forgot last week when I was doing Takis. I'm calling it now. I'll try to remember to ping in the Discord tomorrow when we start Takis, so that you can chill in the chat for that as well if you want to. Yeah. So yeah, be good and etc. The things that I usually say. See you tomorrow.